Then Caleb casually flopped onto the couch. That's right, once you see him, it's hard to forget. A pretty boy is supposed to be handsome, right? She was dumbfounded and asked what he was doing. Caleb nonchalantly replied, aren't we in a room? That's true, so I'm going to take a nap. Just wake me up when you're going somewhere. 10 minutes later, he was fast asleep. Meanwhile, she still couldn't believe it. She started to miss Alan, a knight who was always sincere, affectionate, and very polite. I thought all knights were like Alan. She couldn't help but wonder, how can people like that even exist? Later, Akatsuki arrived, and seeing her hands were covered in cuts, he asked worriedly, what happened to your hands? She sighed and replied, it's because of my homework. After the carriage incident, I'm taking a break from my etiquette class, so instead, Miss Daya heard I had a minor accident. I don't know the specifics, but I'm glad you weren't seriously injured. Instead of you missing class, I'll give you homework, and that is embroidery. I will include a needle and thread so you can practice at your own pace. If you're an excellent lady, then you must embroider your beloved's name on a handkerchief. There is no gift that can capture a man's heart like that one, Akatsuki said. Even so, for it to get this bad. She looked at her hands and answered helplessly, if I don't do it, I'll be nagged endlessly. Ravi thought to herself. Besides, I wonder if this will even be useful after I become a priest. This is kind of like an investment. When will I be able to go to the temple? After thinking, she said cheerfully, don't worry, if it doesn't go well, I can just get Jenny's help. Let me see your wounds. I'll treat them for you. Huh? What if we get caught? He looked at her hands with a pained expression. We just need to put the bandages back on. But I can't stand to see you in pain. Ravi could only look at him in silence. After the carriage incident, Akatsuki started visiting frequently. Is it because he wants to apologize? Learning embroidery is a good thing, but this makes me feel a bit guilty. A few seconds later, the wounds on her hands vanished. Thank you, Akatsuki. In return, I'll show you what I've embroidered. I'm making a lot of progress though. What kind of return gift is that? I want to see. And so they both went into the room. Akatsuki looked around and asked, come to think of it, where is your escort knight? Oh, he's probably in the wine cellar right now. What? Today is the day the good wine shipment arrives, and it seems the knights secretly drink the extra bottles they get as a bonus. I thought all knights were as composed as Alan, but Caleb isn't like that at all. Since I don't have an escort, I can wander around like this. Last time I drank black tea with brandy. It was delicious. My heart skipped a beat, but nothing came of it. Ravi exclaimed, ah, found it. This one is the prettiest. Akatsuki, what's with that expression on your face? Akatsuki's face darkened. This guy named Caleb, I'd like to meet him. She was completely confused. Huh? Is it because he ditched you to go drinking? I can just bring you along next time, he replied. Okay, it's a promise. Akatsuki thought to himself, calm down. I have to get Alan back here as soon as possible. This was embroidered by Ravi, right? She presented it. It's Ravi, my name. Akatsuki asked, puzzled, why are you practicing with your own name? Don't you usually embroider the other person's name? This is meant for someone special, so you have to embroider my name for them to really feel my presence. You want it? Ravi said radiantly. Well, if it's for someone special, it has to be for someone you love, right? It's like putting your name on something to claim it. If you carry my name, you'll belong to me, won't you? Every time you see the handkerchief, you'll think of me, and that would be much better. Akatsuki's heart began to flutter, so that's what she meant. Then she said dejectedly, but you can't read it, so I guess I'll have to practice more. Akatsuki said, oh no, I think it's very cute, like a child's handwriting. That just means it's clumsy, right? 1 week later, Werner was following his little sister everywhere. It seems he's had a lot of free time recently. Isn't there anything for me? He asked. Like a handkerchief or something? Ravi snapped in annoyance. Ugh, just stop it, that's not for a brother. He looked completely thunderstruck. What's wrong? Then who is it for? This is why I kept it a secret from him. The maids already knew the story of the handkerchief, so they had already told him. She sighed and said, I'm not giving it to you anyway, it's mine. Is that so? Well, fine then. If it's not for me, then it can't be for anyone else. She thought helplessly, how can he say something like that with a completely straight face? You should be spending time with my future sister-in-law instead of me. What? Why bring that up all of a sudden? Since you're engaged, you should act more responsibly. You two are courting, right? What about gifts? Have you written her any letters? I'm considering it. Werner started to sweat. Ah, oh dear, it's time for my political meeting. I have to go now. He was always terrified whenever Ravi brought up his engagement. A moment later, they stood before the carriage. Before he left, Werner couldn't resist teasing his sister. Ravi, I'm off now. How about a goodbye kiss? You should leave while I'm still being nice. What's the point of seeing you off? As soon as he got inside, she pouted, he's so inconsiderate. She is cute, but suddenly, a figure passed by. He turned to look and saw that pink hair was. Akatsuki? Why is that kid who works in the palace always hanging around our house? Just then, Akatsuki was riding his horse toward her. Werner thought, even if I couldn't get the handkerchief, it's still 100 years too early for you to take Ravi from me. Meanwhile, over here, Ravi exclaimed, Akatsuki, it feels like we've been seeing each other every day. I'm not tired of it, but the two of them quickly held hands. What should we do today? Have some tea? Or go for a walk? Wait, just a moment, Ravi asked. Huh? What is it? Akatsuki said shyly, I came for another reason today. Another reason? She thought. Is he here to see my brother? I just told him he left for work. But contrary to what she was thinking, Akatsuki said, I want you to have this. Hearing this, she was completely confused. It was a light blue handkerchief with flowers embroidered on it, with Akatsuki's name on it. What is this? You embroidered your name, too? Akatsuki held the handkerchief out to Ravi, and softly hummed in affirmation. Looking at the meticulously embroidered handkerchief, Ravi beamed, thinking to herself, it's gorgeous. You're good with a sword, so you must be good with a needle too, huh? Thank you, I'll treasure it. But why did you make one for me? Akatsuki blushed in embarrassment. The last time. Ravi remembered how she had cheerfully said, if it's for someone special, it has to be for the one you love. It's like putting your name on something. If you carry my name with you, then you'll be mine, won't you? Akatsuki remembered Ravi's words and had been diligently embroidering ever since, thinking, I can give her my name in the hopes that she'll be mine. I could only think of one thing, Ravi, that no matter where you are or when it is, I hope you will always think of me. Akatsuki expressed his affection for Ravi, but she just stared blankly, leaving him at a loss for words. Akatsuki scratched his head, saying it was beautifully made, but it would be a shame to just leave it at that. You're the only one who's given me this. It's true. It would be a shame to look at it all by myself, but I have to go now, she replied softly. Okay. Ravi held the handkerchief, staring at it and thinking, but it feels a little weird to be the only one getting a gift. With that thought, she quickly called out to Akatsuki. Akatsuki, wait a minute. I'll give you something I made. The handkerchief Ravi had embroidered was a little crooked, and Ravi froze. She thought to herself, I actually wanted to give it to him, but the comparison is just so stark. But Akatsuki asked gleefully, can I really keep this? Yeah. After seeing your work, I'm positive I have no talent whatsoever. I'm never doing this again. It might not look pretty, but since it's my first and also my last attempt, I really treasure it. Is this something you hold dear? Yes, thank you, Ravi. I'm so happy I want to do something else for you, Ravi thought to herself. Oh my gosh, what a simpleton. Akatsuki is getting a raw deal no matter how you look at it. It's a good thing he's so nice. Suddenly, an idea struck her, and she blurted out, in that case, can I ask you for a favor? She thought, taking advantage of the kind Akatsuki is easier than anyone. Akatsuki asked, a favor? What is it? There's a place I'd like to go with you. Akatsuki's face flushed beet red with shyness. Where is it? Will you come with me to the temple? The scene changes to the temple. Except for a few festivals, it's not open to the common people, as this place is reserved for the privileged class like royalty and the nobility. All the citizens believe in the presence of the divine, the proof of which lies in the miracles performed by the priests. Because it holds divine power, that light of power is bestowed upon a child from a high-ranking family. That brilliant white light touches a wound and breathes new life into it, providing ample proof of the miracle. Still, even without that particular significance, the temple was very special to Ravi. Akatsuki was a bit curious and asked, why did you want to come to the temple? If you needed healing, I could have just done it for you. Actually, there's a wish I want to pray for, but it's not easy for you to go out at all. So then, Ravi, I want to check out the young, future priests I'll have to entice later on. Thinking back to her healing sessions, most of the visitors to her home were high-ranking officials, so they were all basically grandfathers. No matter how urgent the situation, there was no overcoming that kind of age gap. I guess I won't be scouting any young candidates. With that thought, her eyes welled up with tears as she said, I get into trouble every time I go out, so I'm terrified of traveling to faraway places. But if I go with you, I won't get hurt or tired, right? He thought, I'm partly responsible for Ravi not being able to go out freely. Why have I never thought about taking her out myself? Okay, all right, I'll take you tomorrow. Wow, thank you so much. I knew I could count on you. I'll see you tomorrow then, Akatsuki. As Akatsuki mounted his horse to leave, he didn't forget to reply, okay, I'll come get you tomorrow morning, so please wait for me. Ravi watched as Akatsuki's figure slowly disappeared. She thought to herself, and now, I have to practice letting Akatsuki go. Then she clutched the handkerchief he gave her to her chest. I can't rely on you forever, Akatsuki. That was so cool, riding off like that. Now I have an excuse to see you tomorrow too. Akatsuki had neatly folded the handkerchief I gave him and put it in his pocket. It's okay if you don't realize my feelings for you right now, because I'll always be by your side until one day you finally notice me. I'll grow up fast. Time passed. The next morning, Ravi and Akatsuki arrived at the temple. Ravi, the prayer room is this way. Ravi's attention was drawn to 3 priests gathered together, so she immediately ran in that direction and cheered, let's go this way. Ravi, where are you going? The 2 of them then watched the 3 men from behind a wall, and she whispered to Akatsuki, look over there. Are those guys priests too? Why are they meeting so secretly? Those are knights. They're in charge of security at the temple or escorting guests. Oh my gosh, look at those toned bodies. Can't knights have healing powers too? If the one healing me was that fit, that would be amazing. She couldn't help but whisper, so cool. Her words made Akatsuki a little gloomy. As if sensing a strange aura, the 3 knights turned and one asked, why do I suddenly feel a chill? Yeah, me too. They went outside together, where the 3 of them bowed respectfully before a young man who had just stepped out of a carriage. It is a great honor to meet you, Your Highness. May God bless you. So it was Prince Philip. I apologize for the sudden visit. I hope I'm not disturbing anyone? Not at all. It is an honor to have you here. But may I ask what brings you here today? Is there any other reason to come to a temple? I've come to pray. The temple grounds sparkled in the sunlight as priests sat reading their books. Akatsuki's voice rang out. Ravi, we really have to go now. He looked at Ravi in frustration, as she, with stars in her eyes, stared at the men and replied, just a little longer, it's been 30 minutes already. Suddenly, her hands started to bleed. But, ouch! Noticing her finger was bleeding, Ravi felt a sting of pain and turned to Akatsuki. He asked worriedly, what is it, are you hurt? Yeah, the wall was a little rough and I scraped it, but it's nothing important. She thought to herself, even as a backup groom, I have to think about Akatsuki. Worried, he quickly grabbed her hand. It really hurts, Akatsuki. Without a moment's hesitation, he brought her finger to his mouth and used his power to heal her. Ravi was incredibly embarrassed, her entire face turning bright red. Akatsuki, Akatsuki, what are you doing in such a holy place? When we were kids, I always felt so relieved when you healed me. But now that Akatsuki can control his powers, maybe the way he treats me is different now. I don't know why I'm suddenly so nervous. This feels completely different. Thinking this, Ravi pulled her hand back. That tickles, but I hope it heals fast. After that, Akatsuki took Ravi by the hand and led her away. Come on, let's go pray now. As they entered the prayer room, Ravi was pleasantly surprised by how magnificent it was. She gasped. Whoa! Ravi skipped around cheerfully, exclaiming, there aren't as many people here as I imagined, huh? Is that so? Akatsuki asked. He thought to himself, I arranged it that way. She stood quietly to pray, but inside, Ravi was silently complaining. We just came here to pray and I can't even meet any priests? Akatsuki chuckled softly and asked, do you remember from when we were kids, the well that listens to wishes? What are you talking about? You still remember that? I remember everything we've ever done together, and what I remember most is you crying a whole lot. I didn't cry that much. You cried too, Ravi. I did not. Didn't everyone come running because you were the one crying, Akatsuki? But why bring up such embarrassing memories? Never mind. Even though we couldn't pray together back then, I'm so glad I could bring him here safely today. Ravi looked at Akatsuki with a hint of sadness, while he asked, curious about her wish, but what did you wish for? The same wish as back then? Huh. She turned away blushing and replied, hey, it's a secret. Who goes around telling people their wish? There's nothing I can do with someone so kind and innocent. My wish. Actually, Ravi's wish was to be granted a gentle and sincere husband. I might be able to help, you know. Can't you just tell me a little bit? No way, I'm not telling. Let's just go back. I have to keep it a secret until I get married, she thought while sweating. So stingy. Fine then, I'll keep my wish a secret too. Ravi glanced at Akatsuki and thought, Akatsuki's wish is obvious though. It's probably about his brother. Ravi clasped her hands tightly. Dear God, please, grant me a gentle and sincere soulmate. Please send me a good man like Akatsuki. The atmosphere around her suddenly turned gloomy. Not a womanizer like my brother Werner. Then, footsteps echoed from behind. Felix entered the prayer room. As he stepped inside, he said, oh my, I wasn't aware we had visitors. Ravi turned her head and replied, oh, we just finished our prayers. You can come in. Looking at Felix, Ravi couldn't help but be impressed. Oh my God, who is this handsome man? He's not a priest. He's a knight, right? Felix smiled gently. My apologies for speaking so suddenly. To meet like this must be fate. May I ask for your name, my lady? Ravi smiled shyly. Oh my. Could it be that the gods have already answered? She stammered. I am, as Akatsuki stepped between them. It is an honor to meet you, your highness. May the gods bless you. There's no need to be so formal. Still as stiff as ever, aren't you, Sir Akatsuki? Hearing the words, your highness, Ravi's expression darkened. What? Wait, your highness? He's going to become my brother's rival? Are the gods messing with me? If I give my future husband to my brother? What will happen then? Ravi bowed her head. It is an honor to meet your highness. May the gods bless you. She is Ravi of the Marquisate of Daya. Felix smiled at her. Lady Ravi, I have heard a great deal about you from Lady Rose. He took her hand and placed a kiss upon it. But you are much lovelier than I heard. A little flustered, Ravi replied. Lady Rose? You've spoken with Lady Rose about me? Thank goodness it wasn't about my brother, she thought. What did you hear about me? Are you curious? Then let's sit and chat for a while. Akatsuki quickly stepped in front of Ravi, gently refusing. Your highness, please excuse us. But we have an engagement and must be going now. Akatsuki glanced at Ravi, asking, isn't that right, Ravi? Ravi was taken by surprise, but she didn't deny it. Huh? She thought to herself, I actually wanted to talk with him a little more. But Ravi looked at Akatsuki facing Felix and sensed a strange vibe. It seemed like Akatsuki was on guard against the prince. Suddenly, Ravi's eyes lit up. She looked at the two of them in alarm and exclaimed, is this an instinct to suppress a future rival? She stood in the middle, unsure how to handle this situation. Oh my, Felix is going to be the one who hits on his future sister-in-law. I don't like it either, but to react so coldly? If Lady Austen saw this, she would probably faint. Just then, Felix sighed and said calmly, well then, let's meet again next time if we have the chance. Yes, thank you for your understanding, your highness. Ravi thought to herself, not a single word of thanks from him. Then he grabbed her hand and pulled her away. Well then, we'll meet again later. Behind them, Felix smiled. He seems more important than I heard. Ravi and Akatsuki got into the carriage and left. I don't think I'm fated to be with that prince. Akatsuki took her hand. I've met him before when I went to the royal palace with my father, The prince is the type of person who is friendly with people, even if they have no value, as a representative of the Enoch and Rose families. So that's how it is. That's why the thing with me and Sister Rose happened. But Akatsuki, what were you doing just now? Akatsuki said. It seems like something was on it. Stop it. You're touching it so much that it's getting irritated. You know my skin is sensitive. Hearing her say that, Akatsuki finally let go of her hand. I'm sorry. She looked at his expression and thought, giving me the disease and then the cure. Are you? For some reason Akatsuki doesn't know, but I might as well make things clear. You're the most handsome man I've ever met, and you always smell so good. After hearing that, Akatsuki's face turned beet red. What? Suddenly, she was screaming internally. I told myself not to be shy when facing the main character. I thought so when we were little too, but do you have any idea how? Surprised I was when you finished your night training and came back. You're tall and your shoulders are broad too. Your face is really cool too, right? Plus, you're amazing with a sword. I actually don't remember that. Thank you. Her hands tightened on her dress. More than anything, you are just so gentle and kind. I'm the one who knows best how well you've lived for the sake of the person you like. Those words made Akatsuki's face and ears burn red. Wait a second. He was embarrassed, thinking to himself, Ravi knows about that? His whole face flushed. I thought you didn't understand my feelings. Ravi then stepped forward and lifted his chin with her hand. You idiot. How long do you think I've had my eyes on you? Of course I know. Akatsuki, you can tell me. Anything you're holding back in your heart. If it's you, I'm ready to accept everything, whether it's your special ability, your outstanding talent, power, or strength. I have none of that, but as your closest friend, I can listen to your story, better than anyone else. Akatsuki. Ah. He took the hand she had placed on his cheek, his voice stammering. You'd really accept it? If you knew what I truly wanted, you wouldn't be able to say that. Ravi pouted. I mean it. You can say anything. You've shown before that you missed me. You've been annoyed and grumbled about me. Just do whatever you want. Should I speak my true feelings? I'm not gentle at all. If I were to lie in the same bed with you, I'd get so flustered I wouldn't be able to stand it. I get anxious if you look at anyone else. I hope you can understand the chaos in my heart. I'm also scared of being found out, but assuming that's the case, it's fine. So don't feel bad even if Werner doesn't understand you. Hearing that, Akatsuki froze solid, as Raviat put a hand to her chin, thinking that Werner is just dense about romance because it's a sensitive topic for him. But Akatsuki's voice lowered slightly. Wait a minute, Ravi. She asked curiously, why are we talking about Werner here? What's wrong? Why is your expression getting so grim? I knew it. I shouldn't have brought this up and should have waited. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But Akatsuki's face was still bright red as he spoke up. It's okay if you don't know, but don't involve anyone else. It's not the person you're thinking of. Oh, what is this atmosphere trying to say? Seriously, why is it that every time Werner... Did I say too much? Akatsuki's mood was also affected, so she reached out and gently touched Akatsuki's hand. I'm sorry, are you mad? You're not really mad, are you, Akatsuki? We can still be friends, right? Yeah, of course. The words he couldn't say out loud, only in his mind. Ravi, you might not know it, but I'm a very bad person. Because I'm always lying to you. That night, in Raviat's bedroom, she was lying in bed, but it seemed she wasn't sleeping well, as she was drenched in sweat. In her dream, a burning candle appeared, and scenes from her past life flashed by as she sat at a desk in the flickering candlelight. She meticulously wrote a letter to the commander-in-chief. You must take care of your health. As she wrote, her tears kept falling and smudging the words. From far away, I still wish for your well-being, so you must arrive safely. Her eyes were soaked with tears, and below her were many crumpled letters. I know all of this is useless. No matter how much I write, they're just letters that can never be sent. Even so, the reason I can't stop is probably because this is the only thing I can do. She covered her face with her hands and burst into tears. Akatsuki, I miss you. I've replayed it in my mind tens of times, hundreds of times, wondering what choice I should have made back then. Could we have avoided breaking up? The next morning, Ravi was having breakfast when she suddenly told the maid, I'm sorry, Jenny. I can't eat anymore. Can't you have just one more bite? I'll just take my medicine. Please spare me. The table was covered in medicine. Being sick like this is so miserable. It's gritty like sand in my mouth. It burns from the inside, and I always feel like throwing up. After taking it, she choked, and Jenny quickly brought a towel to help her as she gasped for air like she was underwater. It feels so heavy. You've been through a lot. Please lie down now. She suddenly asked, did anyone say if Akatsuki is coming today? Yes. I heard he's been very busy lately. Is that so? She recalled. I must have upset him by saying something stupid back then. It's been so long since I've been this sick. I could die. Besides, what was with that dream yesterday? Dreaming that I wrote letters to Akatsuki. My head hurts every time I think about it. I hope he comes back soon. At the Imperial Palace, Werner was walking on a red carpet. As he was strolling absent-mindedly, a voice suddenly reached him. You seem very busy, Miss Rose. Even so, I was thinking of coming to see you for a bit. Is that so? I thought you'd forgotten since our appointment was made so long ago. My apologies. Rose burst out laughing. I've just been so busy with many things lately. I know, I was just teasing. It's perfect timing, as I also wanted to talk to you about that. Let's talk for a moment. The two of them then went out to the balcony to speak privately. As you know, the war is about to start again, so if that's the case, I'll be busy and our wedding will be postponed. Busy with what? Could it be? That's right. I will also be participating in this war. I'm sorry for not being able to discuss it with you beforehand. Upon hearing this, Werner sighed. To be honest, I can't understand it either. I heard the enemy crossing the border is a coalition of small nations. After conscripting soldiers, their military strength now surpasses ours, and furthermore, that region is very disadvantageous for us. Frankly, I think this is a war where victory cannot be guaranteed. It would be better to negotiate with the enemy to reduce our losses, than to fight. Why would you step into a situation like this? Let me ask you something. Are you saying that because you're worried about me? Well, of course I'm. She smiled and continued. It's not because you don't believe in my abilities, is it? Her words seemed to hit a nerve with Werner. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Seeing his expression, Rose stepped closer and spoke. I'm sorry, but I have no intention of changing my mind about participating. All the knights under my command are being deployed, so how could I possibly stay behind? Werner immediately turned around and asked Rose, are you planning to brave this danger simply out of a sense of responsibility? It's not just that. I've reviewed the reports and analyses. Unlike you, Marquis, I believe I have a good enough chance of winning. I'm confident I will return safely, but I also understand your position of having to wait. Do you want to call off the engagement? Werner frowned. What are you talking about? Rose said. It's not like you agreed to marry me because you love me. I know you need to marry quickly to secure your provisional title, so if that's the case, instead of waiting for me to return from a war with no known end date, it would be much quicker to call off the engagement and find a new marriage partner, wouldn't it? In short, I'm giving you an out, since it's just an engagement. Werner shouted, No, I have absolutely no such thoughts. Just what kind of person do you take me for? Noticing his fierce reaction, Rose smiled in spite of herself. Werner yelled again, Why are you laughing? My apologies, I just didn't expect you to respond so earnestly. Come to think of it, yeah, why did I get so angry? Is it Ravi's influence? Rose drew closer. In that case, please wait for me. I will return as quickly as I can, and don't talk about losing. Werner shyly turned his face away. That's not what I was going to say. I'm sorry. Huh? That's perfectly fine. But you can't be reckless, so be careful. Remember that you, the Marquis, are the one who gave up other opportunities to choose me, Werner replied shyly. I know, just calm down. I've said my piece. Is there anything else you're curious about? Do you think the Enoch family will participate in the war? They will participate, whether it's the Enoch family, Ravi's friend, or even the Marquis. The Emperor gave the order directly, just as I thought. What in the world am I supposed to do? I haven't felt anything for a while now. Ravi is going to be so sad. That evening, in Ravi's bedroom, suddenly, a hand touched her forehead, making her sigh to herself. Ah, your hand is so cool. How can it be so comforting? Affectionately and gently, Ravi raised her hand to touch the source of the coolness. Akatsuki, you came? I'm sorry for waking you. It's okay. When did you get here? I just arrived. You should have told me right away if you were this sick. I was just kicking myself thinking you were mad and didn't visit. That's not it at all. I was just too busy to come. There was just so much work at the royal palace. She sat up and asked, What was it? Akatsuki gently pushed her back down onto the bed and felt her forehead. I'll tell you when you're better. For now, you should get some more sleep. She turned on her side and said, I'll listen as soon as I wake up, so don't go anywhere. Please stay with me. Hearing her words, Akatsuki blushed with embarrassment. I'll stay by your side. Later, Marquis Daya informed him that His Majesty had ordered him to be dispatched to the front lines. Hearing this, Akatsuki immediately asked, Is that confirmed? Ah, the Marquis quickly replied, It is. Since it's a royal command, it's impossible to refuse. I can't believe they're sending the only heir to the front lines. Even a powerful family must yield to his will. They say your abilities are exceptional. That's just a baseless excuse. I'm looking into the reason why, but the order cannot be refused. For now, prepare for deployment. Yes, sir. A moment later, Akatsuki left the room, his mind filled with images of that day with Ravi and the words he couldn't bring himself to say. I have to tell her when I see her again. I never thought I'd actually feel fortunate for not having confessed. As for Ravi, she sighed in relief. Last night, I felt so at peace thanks to Akatsuki, but waking up to reality was the start of an even worse nightmare. What did you say? You're being sent to the front lines? There wasn't any announcement until now. So why so suddenly? I just heard the news and came straight here. His Majesty the Emperor gave the order himself. Is His Majesty insane? Ravi, someone might hear you. I had a feeling this day would come, considering the influence of Akatsuki's recent achievements. In the war from the original novel, I wonder if this is just how things were meant to unfold. But facing it in reality is just horrible. Why does it have to be Akatsuki? Then she asked hesitantly, Can't you not go? I'll help you run away. Hearing her say that, Akatsuki smiled and replied, Ravi, that's a very tempting offer. Then I'll go pack my things. Akatsuki continued, But I can't put you in danger, Ravi. Even just hearing you say it means a lot, thank you. Hearing this, Ravi blushed, moved, and asked, Is that really all you have to say to me? Akatsuki fell silent for a moment, his hand gently reaching out to touch her lips. He didn't have the courage to say what was in his heart. I like you, Ravi. That's why I want to protect the place where you are. Even the act of placing a kiss on your lips was only in his imagination. I will definitely come back to you, so please wait for me. At this, seeing that Akatsuki hadn't answered her, Ravi's eyes welled up with tears as she asked, Are you really going to leave with just that? Akatsuki thought to himself, If only I could tell you how I feel, but I don't know what's going to happen, or how many years it might take. Akatsuki said, I haven't been a knight for very long, but I'm confident in my experience. So you don't have to worry so much. Ravi hesitated. Akatsuki, that's what makes me even more worried. Why are they sending you to a place filled with nothing but rough men? What did I teach you? Ravi suddenly reached out her arms and gently hugged Akatsuki and asked, when do you depart? Next week. Only the knights will be leaving, early in the morning. So there's no farewell ceremony from the citizens? I'm going in order to protect people. For me, just having you is enough. Suddenly, Ravi gripped Akatsuki's hand tightly and exclaimed, that's not enough for me. Sleep with me before you go. Akatsuki's face turned red with embarrassment. What? What? You don't want to? But we won't see each other for a while. We used to sleep together, but we've been sleeping separately ever since you returned. Are my sleeping habits that terrible? That's what? It's not like that? Hearing her say these words, he hurriedly denied it. No, not at all. I'll sleep with you. Let's do it. That's right, my body won't feel right while we're apart. It'll be better if we help it recover. Then, blushing furiously, he asked, so do you want to come to my place? Of course, Ravi had no reason to refuse. Seeing her reaction, Akatsuki could only brace himself. I have to steel my resolve. A little later, Caleb was resting leisurely on a tree branch in the garden. Just then, Ravi ran up to the exact tree he was in, kicked the trunk hard, and yelled, Caleb, everyone knows you're here. Get down here now. Hearing her voice, Caleb jolted awake and asked with a grin, it's been a while, my lady. It's a long way from evening. What's the matter? Is that how an escort knight should talk? Well, freedom is always a good thing. Besides, when it comes to climbing, am I not the best there is? That you are. So today, I'm giving you a chance to showcase that talent of yours. Choose a fine wine for me. I'll cause a distraction, so you sneak out 2 bottles. Oh ho, but my lady, isn't even a drop of brandy too much for you? Why bring a whole bottle? That's a secret. Then I refuse. No matter what happens to me, I can't let my lady do something dangerous. Being refused, she asked angrily, really? You won't do it? To be honest, I'm just curious because it sounds fun. What's the reason? Since it's a secret, I guess you'll never know. The truth is, I plan on making a move on a certain boy. Because of another man, the Emperor, he has to leave me to go away. And during this time, whenever I ask him to sleep with me, he's always busy. I won't be able to sleep with you for a while, so I have to use this opportunity to do it. After saying all that, she sighed. But in truth, those words were only half a lie. I was only half joking about that. He got jealous because I drank with Caleb, so I have to teach him a lesson. As for Caleb, he shivered with excitement after she finished and said, my lady, in that case, you can leave it all to me. I shall procure something to ensure your passionate youth burns brightly. Hearing that, she exclaimed, Caleb, you're amazing. But what does that have to do with my youth? Later, a cry suddenly rang out from the wine cellar. Ow, ow. In an instant, the cry drew the attention of the guards. Upon checking, they discovered it was Ravi who had cried out. Lady Raviat, is there a problem? I suddenly feel a little dizzy. Raviat shot a look at Caleb, giving him the signal. Caleb quickly snuck inside. The guard hastily offered, should I call for a doctor? It's not that serious, just help support me for a second. She cheered in her head. Hurry up, Caleb. Suddenly another guard suggested, you take care of the lady. I need to go on patrol. The wine count has been off lately. I understand. She quickly looked. She clutched her shoulder in agony and screamed, the arm I injured when I was 6 years old. Her sudden scream startled the 2 soldiers, who asked in unison, where does it hurt, ma'am? While the 2 naive soldiers were fussing over Ravi, Caleb successfully slipped into the wine cellar. What should we do? Massaging the lady's shoulder first should help, right? I'll take the right side. I'm so nervous. Seeing that Caleb had made it into the cellar, Ravi sighed in relief. Success. A moment later, he successfully snuck out the wine, and Ravi happily high-fived him, saying, that's Caleb for you. You worked hard. It was nothing. I got a pretty big haul, more than enough. Then, as she carried the jug of wine, she said, I'm going to live it up before Alan arrives, and I'll have a drink with Akatsuki and have a heart-to-heart talk. Is that a farewell gift? If so, what about the other thing? A sword decoration? Ravi looked a little confused. A sword decoration? Yes, the tassel charm that hangs from the hilt of a sword. It's a knot tied to wish for a safe return, which is the dream of every knight. They're usually made to match the color of one's eyes, but Lady Ravi's eyes. Hearing this, she pondered for a moment. Later, at Akatsuki's mansion, he paced back and forth in his room, remembering the day Ravi proposed, sleep with me, so you should come to my house at least once. Remembering this, he flusteredly asked himself, why did I say something like that? Even though I'm trying to live without any regrets, why do I keep getting swept up in Ravi's pace? Just then, through the window, Akatsuki heard the sound of a carriage in the courtyard. He saw Ravi's carriage arriving. A servant was opening the door for her, and as soon as she stepped down, she joyfully hugged Alan and called out, Alan, you're completely recovered now, right? Yes, I've been waiting and listening for news about you, my lady. That's wonderful. When we return home together. My lady, what is that bag? It looks heavy. Oh, it's nothing, and it's not that heavy. Oh dear. If Alan finds out, he'll definitely confiscate it. What should I do? In that very moment, someone suddenly grabbed her hand, and when Ravi looked, she saw it was none other than Akatsuki. Seeing her savior, she was so overjoyed that she shouted, "Akatsuki! Hello, Ravi! I came to welcome you." Suddenly, Ravi placed her hands on his chest, leaned into his embrace, and turned to say to Alan, "I'm fine with Akatsuki here. You can go pack the luggage. Then please give that bag to me as well." But she ignored him and whispered a request to Akatsuki, "Don't ask any questions. Just give me a hug." Listening to her, Akatsuki lifted her into his arms, while she pretended like nothing was out of the ordinary. "Akatsuki will see me home, so don't you worry. I'll be going now." Seeing this, Alan could only watch helplessly as she left, while she hurriedly commanded, "Let's go, Akatsuki." And so, as he carried her away, Akatsuki shot Alan an unreadable smile. Alan himself was puzzled. Why is he smiling like that all of a sudden? He was still bewildered, asking himself, maybe it's just me, but I think that Akatsuki fellow was smiling. As for Ravi, nestled in Akatsuki's arms, she asked in confusion, "But Akatsuki, did you rush back here? Your hair is a total mess, is it?" A moment later, he brought her to his private room. He then let out a sigh and complained, "You're unbelievably heavy. It's because I brought all this with me, right?" "That's right. But if I waited to prepare everything after I arrived, we couldn't secretly hold a drinking party." Just then, Akatsuki poured the wine and asked with concern, "Are you sure it's okay to drink this? What if my heart starts racing?" Ravi didn't seem to care and just urged him on. "Of course it is. Hurry up and pour me some. You're the one who said I could do whatever I want as long as I'm with you. But I didn't mean for a situation like this." Just then, their glasses clinked. Ravi sipped her wine and asked cheerfully, "Hey handsome, this wine is really good, and it smells amazing, right? Drink it slowly, or you'll get drunk. Oh my, with someone right here, who's basically an antidote. What's the problem? I can't be sure if my ability to heal can also cure drunkenness. I've never researched anything like that. All this nagging isn't any fun. I prepared all this because I wanted to see what you'd like, so why do you keep killing the mood? Besides, shouldn't I be the one who's worried? Worried I'll get hurt? No, you won't get hurt." According to what she knew from the novel, not only would he be unharmed, but he would also achieve great things, safely defeating the enemy commanders. He was going to have so many accomplishments and return more magnificent than anyone. Her words made Akatsuki blush brightly. "Isn't it amazing that you trust me so much?" She suddenly leaned on his shoulder and mumbled, "Because that's just who I am." Akatsuki, confused, exclaimed, "Huh? Ravi, are you asleep?" Just then, in her head spinning from the wine, "I need to lift this heavy thing, but it seems I'm too late." Akatsuki, thinking she was drunk, quickly suggested, "If you're going to sleep, you should get into bed." However, before he could even help her to the bed, she suddenly shot up and yelled, "No! Who said I'm asleep? I haven't even gotten a single compliment. Have I, Ravi? Ever since I let go. I'm sorry. Let me heal you now." However, Ravi loudly refused. "I have the pouch." She suddenly started looking for something. "Because I have something I want to give you. Where is it?" Hearing her, he couldn't help but wonder, "What is it?" I don't know. I want to kiss you first." The next morning, Ravi woke up in bed and wondered, "Is it morning already? Why is no one next to me? Was Akatsuki really here with me? What happened last night? I don't remember anything. What in the world happened? Is anyone out there?" Alan, who was outside, heard her shout and rushed in. As soon as Ravi saw him, she quickly ran over and asked in a panic, "Alan, where am I?" "This is the guest room of the Anoka residence. Please rest assured, I am here. I understand, but why are you looking at me like that?" "Yes? Looking at you how? Is it because I secretly drank alcohol? I only had one glass." "No, wait, one sip. It's not that. Don't you remember anything else?" "I don't really remember anything else, just talking with Akatsuki." Suddenly, a memory of her pinning Akatsuki down flashed in her mind. This made Ravi panic a little, muttering to herself, "I think I'm starting to remember something from while I was drinking. I suddenly feel flushed and nauseous." Then another memory, of Akatsuki's panicked cry, rang in her head. "Ravi, please, you can't do this." A crucial piece of the memory was cut off, making Ravi gasp in horror. "No way." Meanwhile, in Akatsuki's room, I was inspecting the cut on the corner of my mouth in the mirror, still feeling a little dazed about last night. Last night, the wind blew into the room, mingling with my pleas to Ravi. "Please, we can't do this." But Ravi was still insistent. Right as she kissed Akatsuki, he managed to say one last thing. "You're really drunk right now. You'll definitely regret this when you wake up tomorrow." Her kiss made him freeze and blush, but after she was done, she said with dissatisfaction, "Why are you so stiff? This isn't the way to get you home safely." What is she even talking about? If Alan hadn't shown up, something major would have happened. Just then, Alan opened the door and walked in. "I've finished cleaning up. It's time to go home." "Ravi, what do you think you're doing?" Back in the present, Akatsuki thought of Ravi. "I hastily let her sleep in the living room. She must be awake by now." Suddenly, he heard a commotion outside and wondered, why is it so noisy out there? It was Ravi, trying to persuade Alan. "Don't stop me. I need to see Akatsuki right now. Please wait a moment. Akatsuki needs some time as well. If you're going to stop me like this, then why won't you tell me what I did?" "I don't know the exact details." "Then just tell me what you saw." So, just as he was about to describe what he saw last night, Akatsuki suddenly opened the door. What happened was, the young lady assaulted Lord Akatsuki. Akatsuki shyly spoke up, "Hello, Ravi." Ravi was embarrassed, thinking how he could be so calm right now. "Good morning, Akatsuki." Akatsuki was secretly flustered. I was in such a hurry to stop Alan that I rushed out too fast. Meanwhile, Ravi wondered in confusion, I don't remember a thing, but why do I feel so regretful? Alan, seeing this, felt helpless, so he just went and pushed Ravi into Akatsuki's room and said, there's no other way. I'll go call for a car so the two of you can discuss your unfinished business. His actions made Ravi panic and scream, Alan, why would you do that? You're supposed to be my escort. Officially, it's still a holiday, so I'm going to do this. This is also punishment for you bullying me yesterday, so make sure you two talk properly. And just like that, he locked Ravi in the room with Akatsuki. She could only fume silently. How dare he? Alan, how could you just leave me here right now? What am I supposed to do? Then, she gathered all her courage and called out to Akatsuki. I don't know what happened, so I'll just apologize first. I'm sorry, please don't cut me off. I just wanted to make some good memories. There's nothing more embarrassing than leaving behind terrible memories, especially ones I can't even properly remember. Wait, hold on, Ravi. You really don't remember? Then why are you apologizing? Huh, did I do something bad to you? Hearing that, Akatsuki bluntly replied, no, how could you possibly think something like that? But Ravi felt like something was wrong. Since I wasn't feeling well, I just assumed I must have gotten drunk and thrown up. Besides, Alan didn't tell me a single thing. Akatsuki insisted, nothing happened. But no matter how I look at it, it doesn't seem like nothing happened, right? Especially with lips like that. It wasn't until yesterday that I finally got to do that, but I didn't hit him, did I? My pride is keeping me from saying anything. Akatsuki, give me your hand. So she gave him a small charm, which even had some of her hair on it. Is this a decoration for my sword? Yeah. I was supposed to give this to you yesterday, but I guess I was too drunk and forgot. Can this make up for what happened yesterday? You made this? Did you hurt your fingers? I'm not great with embroidery, but I'm pretty good at things like this. If you don't believe me, then don't take it. I'll take it back. Suddenly, Akatsuki calmly took it. I was just kidding. Of course I believe you. There's no way I wouldn't recognize your hair color. Thank you. I'll return safely. Okay, be safe, Akatsuki. And 2 days later, Akatsuki left, just like in a novel. How wonderful it would be if time passed with each turn of a page. If time could just flow by. In any case, preparing for a farewell is truly difficult. The longing always lingered, as Ravi stood by the window watching Akatsuki leave with the army for battle. Alan approached and said, My lady, you can't see from here. I know. However, I kept waiting, and the inevitable eventually came, although there was no news from Akatsuki for the following 3 years. The war began, and the entire sky was dyed a bloody red. The commander-in-chief leading the charge, Enoch, Duke of Enoch, rode gallantly on horseback, raising his sword as the army advanced on Prince Philip's forces. Rose and Akatsuki led the southern front. The enemy's morale seemed to weaken slightly, but our forces suffered considerable losses in every battle. The enemy's allies also held firm, and the war was not yet over at the Daiha estate. Time passed just like that, with Ravi meeting other noble ladies and gentlemen at the estate to socialize and pass the time, until the red maple leaves rustled, signaling the arrival of fall, and then came the time when white snow fell, blanketing the treetops. It was now winter, the estate dotted white with falling snowflakes. Ravi wrote worriedly in her letter, Is Akatsuki still doing well? It's warm where you are in the south, but I'm always worried about you catching a cold. She had matured a lot by now, her shimmering golden hair making many young men at the temple blush bashfully. In her letter, she added, My brother is still doing well. I heard he recently received recognition at the royal palace. It seems he's been exchanging a lot of letters with Rose, too. She knew this because she had hidden behind her brother many times to secretly read their letters. It was a relief they weren't separated this time. Why haven't you written back to me? I only hear news about you through Rose's letters or from newspaper articles. Besides, the newspapers aren't even reliable. They said your hair was red. She remembered one time she found news about you in an article and insisted that her brother get the information corrected. Brother, demand a retraction for this immediately. You really want me to? I know it's difficult to write back, but I miss you. Outside the temple, Alan waited in the hall. Seeing Ravi arrive, he said, You took a long time today, huh? Yeah, I prayed for a bit too long. She thought to herself, Why isn't this working? Why are there so many people? Meanwhile, Alan was glaring at the young men who were secretly staring at her. She said in frustration, I really don't understand why. Should we just go back then? Aren't you going to do your daily routine? Every time she came to the temple, there was one thing she absolutely had to do, which was to look for a young priest with immense divine power. Alan watched in confusion as she constantly scribbled notes on a piece of paper. If you need divine power. Wouldn't a high-ranking priest be better? Why are you so insistent on finding a young one? She replied to Alan cheekily, Isn't it about time I started looking? What do you think I'd want with a guy my age? Alan was startled. Could it be? Ravi looked up. That's right, marriage. What were you thinking? I'm almost 20 years old, so it's about time. So the guys you've gotten close to recently should also meet a priest? All the guys I've met up until now? While Alan was frozen solid, Ravi answered casually. But it seems I don't have a good eye for men. Why is every guy I meet so peculiar? One was already married. One wanted to use me as a stepping stone for his career, and one lied about his age when he was only 15 years old. And then there was the one who forced skinship. At this point, they both thought of that lying priest. That guy was terrible, but he wasn't a knight, was he? Because of you, we ended up fighting him. Caleb lied about being a knight, and he had healing powers too. I'm sorry, but my lady, Did you write about those men in your letters to Akatsuki? Of course I did. I wonder if he's been able to read them. But at that very moment, on the southern front, that letter had been opened by Akatsuki and was laid neatly on his desk. Beside it were many other envelopes, all handwritten letters from her. Akatsuki gently tightened his gloves. Then he fastened his sword to his belt. Just then a figure lifted the tent flap. "Captain, are you here? I've prepared everything you requested." Akatsuki glanced over, asking Levine in a cold voice, "Where were we ambushed last time?" In the Louisiana forest, sir." Hearing that, Akatsuki clenched the letter in his hand. "So there's a high chance their leader is still around, right? After that statement, we will depart at dawn today. I have provided enough food and lodging for 1 week." "Oh, right. Wait a minute, Commander. What about the permit?" Akatsuki paused. "If we win, it won't be an issue." Hearing this, Levine followed behind him, grumbling. "It's not that simple. Let's talk for a bit. Where do you think you're going? I want to be alone." "Don't follow me." And with that, Akatsuki headed into the forest alone. Thump! He punched a tree hard. Then, Akatsuki lowered his head and sighed. "What's this about boyfriends? What are Akatsuki and Alan up to? I'm almost 20 years old, so I can start seeing someone. But their characters are terrible, and why are they all priests? Is it because I visit the temple so often?" At that thought, Akatsuki imagined a beautiful Ravi in an elegant white dress, standing next to some damn priest in a white suit. With me, even after all this time together, we couldn't become lovers. Damn it, those animals. What did they do to a girl who's so dense about love? I can't believe Ravi has already met more than 5 guys. What should I do when I get back? Back with Ravi, she suddenly sneezed, and Alan rushed over with a coat. Oh dear. "Are you catching a cold?" She shivered slightly. "I suddenly feel a chill for no reason. I wonder why." In the south, where Akatsuki's army was stationed, he gloomily thought, "I want to go back immediately. If only I could write her a letter. Why am I not allowed to write letters?" Those were the very words Duke Enoch, his father, had exclaimed when he learned that letters were forbidden. Back then, he furiously slammed the table and demanded to know why it was dangerous. The only explanation they received was a letter from a high-ranking noble sent through the royal family. "I can't figure out their exact intentions. I have to prevent our information from getting out. What kind of weakness is that, be it my external circumstances or some emotional vulnerability?" It was just a personal message to Ravi. Could they be spies for the royal family? The flames of rage inside him erupted, unable to be contained. Damn it! The 2 people over there were whispering, "This is because of that pink letter again, isn't it?" 3 months ago, everything went haywire when he received that gift. I really don't want to remember that day. That terrifying memory is resurfacing. The image of a town engulfed in blazing fire, red blood staining the ground, and Akatsuki's boots covered in it, standing beside some victim sprawled on the ground. A letter's arrival usually meant urgency, but that day we also had to witness a raid on civilians. Looking back, he was like a madman, having annihilated all the remnants in that region, a tall figure with soulless eyes. His clothes were drenched in fresh blood. The sight was absolutely terrifying. Fortunately, Rose arrived just in time to stop him. They whispered to each other, "If Lady Salome hadn't intervened, we would have been cut down too." Who knows how much blood he was covered in? Even his hair looked red. The 2 of them sighed wearily. Just who in the world sent a letter that could make him like that? Outside, it was completely silent, with only Rose's voice echoing from the tent. "Look here, it seems we have an interesting plan. Let's put on a little show with the Legion." Akatsuki said with annoyance, "I don't care what you heard or whether they're coming. The answer is no. I know you'll act without my permission anyway, and it will be very awkward if you fail." Akatsuki shot her a skeptical glance. She gave an innocent smile. "You should at least hear the plan. The dark forest gives the enemy an advantage. We'll set traps underground and in the trees, but this is a joint operation no matter what. We will deploy our forces, leveraging our individual strengths, and this time, we strike before dawn. One unit will create a diversion to draw their attention, a task Rose will handle. According to the strategy, once the grunts are drawn from the forest center, our troops will locate the enemy's commander-in-chief on the opposite side, and then extract information from him. I'm very confident with this kind of work." Akatsuki stood there frowning, at a loss for words. "And what are you going to do to help me? I know you don't particularly like me." "What are you talking about? I've always wanted to be on good terms with Marquis Enoch. You probably wouldn't believe me even if I told you. This is for personal reasons, just like you. I also have a reason to want to return early." Outside, the flickering campfire slowly died down. The knights asked each other, "Oh right, have you seen the sword decorations on Lady Salome and Sir Akatsuki?" "Yeah, they're the same color, right? You don't think they had them made for each other?" "No way. The air gets chilly whenever they're near each other. They're in love with the same person. So does that make them love rivals?" An image of a blushing Werner flashed through their minds. This is so complicated. But the 2 of them had no idea that this conversation was being overheard by Rose and Akatsuki. Akatsuki's face darkened as he said, "No matter what. That sword decoration is bumming me out. So can you take it off? Why are you saying such strange things?" Rose sighed helplessly. "Why me? If anyone should take one off, it should be Mr. A. Katsuki. Mr. Akatsuki's is a symbol of friendship, but mine is a charm from my fiancé." A memory of that day flashed in her mind, back at the Salome estate before the battle. A voice echoed through the mansion. "Even if we are engaged, you're being awfully bold. What brings you here, Marquis?" Seeing him like that, Rose laughed to herself. He looks like a wet puppy again. Wanting to tease him for no reason, she thought for a moment and then asked, I wonder if you want to take back what you said last time? Hearing this, Werner flinched, his face turning even redder. He grabbed her arm to explain, that's not it, and then pulled her into an embrace. It was a completely unexpected reaction. But why was he so warm? She softly called out to him, Marquis. He lowered his head. Be careful, and make sure you reply to my letters. Her eyes widened as she thought to herself, I am a knight before I am anyone's wife, and I have never once hesitated to go into battle. But as she thought this, she gently raised her hands, wondering if he'd regret not being able to see the look on her face. Startled by her sudden movement, he said shyly, Oh right, I have something for you. What is it? He hesitated, looking away. This. Well, as he spoke, he took out a sword decoration. I heard it's good luck to carry one of these. This took her by surprise. She stood frozen for a moment, then he coughed. If you don't like it, I guess there's nothing to be done. But now that I think about it, one side of his hair was strangely short. Having delivered the gift, he rushed to say goodbye. Well then, I'll be going. But just as he lifted his foot to turn, she quickly stopped him. Wait. Then she pulled him down, planted a quick kiss on his cheek, and let go. 5 years? No, just wait 3 years. I'll be waiting to see what you do when I come back. Returning to the present. After explaining the whole story of that night to Akatsuki, she brushed back her red hair. That's why I made that promise. He frowned, annoyed. I don't know, but I'm a little ticked off. My reaction right now is one of dissatisfaction, so let's just hurry up and end this war. Time passed, and spring arrived once more. The Imperial Army began its assault on Louisiana, securing victory after victory, and 7 enemy commanders were executed at the hands of the Marquis. Enoch recovered most of the lost territory, and articles about the victory and portraits of the leaders were printed and spread through newspapers nationwide. Ravi clutched a stack of papers, smiling with delight. It's been nothing but good news about Akatsuki lately. But why is his army the only one being worked to the bone? Is it because he's too nice that they're taking advantage of him? Suddenly, a voice cut her off. Ravi, if you keep getting pushed around continuously, you'll get hurt. Look, a drop of blood already. Ravi screamed internally. Ah, heavenly. The other priests have used their divine powers before, but this is the first time I've seen it used like this. His face looks cute and gentle too. This is Test, the priest I've been seeing often lately. Maybe because he hasn't been in the capital for long, he's not like the other priests who are tainted by worldly ambitions. He took care of me unconditionally from the very first time, plus his strangely pure aura reminds me of Akatsuki. Of course, Akatsuki is a little cuter, and unlike the trash I've met before, he looks very elegant and neat. Is my life going smoothly now? Just then, Tess spoke up. That newspaper seems to be about someone very close to you? That's right, he's my best friend. He's young, but his achievements are outstanding. Truly adorable. Tess thought to himself, Akatsuki Inoshima, so she's friends with someone from the Inoshima ducal family. So Henshiko Karabi comes here often to pray for that person, right? I thought you came because you missed me. I feel so embarrassed for some reason. Ravi's jaw dropped, her face flushing in awkwardness. She was stunned and thought to herself, what? Does this guy like me too? This is already our 5th meeting. Maybe it's time we started seeing each other more seriously. Thinking this, she called out, Test. Just then, he let go of her hand. Ah, the treatment is finished. Her eyes widened in surprise as she looked at her hand, and she thought to herself, the bleeding stopped, but it left a scar. His healing ability is definitely weaker than Akatsuki's. That makes sense. Akatsuki would pour all his energy into it until I was completely healed. Thinking of that, she suddenly remembered that familiar figure. Is it because they have the same healing ability? No matter who I meet, I always compare them to Akatsuki. Tess suddenly stood up and said with a smile, well, I'm off. You should take care of yourself. Thank you so much, Tess. Then she thought, I'll probably tell him next time. That evening at the Marquis's mansion, a firm voice rang out, no way. You are absolutely not to meet that priest again. She asked in frustration, what is it? Why the sudden outburst? It's not like any priest has ever been good enough in your eyes, Alan. This time it's not about that. That man's background is unclear, Ravi asked angrily. Don't tell me you did a background check on him? Alan quickly turned his head, avoiding her scrutinizing gaze. Milady's taste. Ah, no. Your luck with men is terrible. Oh dear, I can't deny that. What's gotten into you? You never say this much when I meet a normal priest. He came straight to the capital without an internship. No matter how you spin it, that's not right. Maybe Alan's status is higher than I thought. Even so, it's not normal for his past to be untraceable. She frowned and thought, my goodness, Alan is so persistent. I don't think so. Then she spoke up. You're an expert when it comes to nagging me, Alan. Me, you say? You're not so great at dating yourself, Alan. I heard you've been dumped every single time until now. Those words were like an arrow straight through his heart. It's just that I plan to live alone. Why? It's not like I've never dated at all. Your face is handsome, your job is respectable, and your vacations are long. So what on earth is the problem? Alan silently recalled the first girl with short hair who scolded him. Can't you stop talking about your lady for 1 second? Another girl also said, how can you say the exact same things every time we meet? Is your lady the only thing you know how to talk about? It's boring to death. If your lady is so great, then you should just date her instead. At this point, Alan told himself, I can absolutely never say that's the case. So he tried to gloss it over. I don't know. Ravi sighed. Seriously, is now the time to be smiling like that? Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Alan gently opened it to find Jenny holding a letter. Seeing her, Alan said, I'm sorry, my lady is asleep. What brings you here at this hour? Oh, this. There's a letter from Master Akatsuki. The voices reached Ravi on the bed, startling her awake. She rushed to the door. Give it to me now. She held the letter in her hands, thinking this had to be a dream. The moment she opened the red envelope, a handwritten letter was revealed. It was neatly folded, her eyes filled with tears. Ah, it read. Lavi, the war is over. She clutched the letter to her heart. It's finally over, Jenny called out softly in concern. My lady. Ravi was now overcome with happiness. Akatsuki is coming home. The blue banner of victory waved freely in the vast sky. Rose, Akatsuki, and Duke Enoch stood among the bodies strewn across the ground. Their cloaks billowed softly in the wind. Akatsuki's face was mottled with scratches, but his gaze was firm and serene. After the fierce war, his resolve was firm. I'm going home now. Akatsuki took a cloth and meticulously wiped a bloodstain. Rose asked, what have you been cleaning this whole time? It got blood on it during the final battle. Can't you just wash it? I don't like things being stained, not even with my own blood. But it's your own blood? Suddenly, a voice called out, drawing both of their gazes. There were two people over there. Felix jogged over excitedly from afar. You're heading back already? Rose cheerfully pointed to herself. That's right, you're welcome, I assume, so I can have the negotiation table all to myself. Felix said, it would have been much better if you stayed to help us. But wasn't it your two's achievement that secured the enemy's surrender? We wish to properly reward Marquis Rose and Duke Enoch. Akatsuki quickly interjected. Your Highness, we can't afford to be so lenient, not even in our negotiating position. Rose chimed in from the side. Since we have the advantage, we need to be meticulous. His eyes went wide with bewilderment, completely shot down. Seeing the matter was settled, Rose hurried off with Akatsuki. Well, we'll be going now. Felix sighed and saw them off, left with no other choice. See you at the Imperial Palace. And with that, the two departed. Felix propped his chin on his hand and sighed, with an expression that just screamed, kill me now. Rose looked at Akatsuki beside her. I've already prepared a fine carriage. Let's go, Akatsuki. Felix clasped his hands, gazing at the beautiful evening sky. It won't be long before there's news of a wedding. A carriage forged ahead, and inside. Rose wrapped her arms around herself and sighed. All this trouble is because of you, as I thought. Wouldn't it be more enjoyable to ride horses into the capital? Across from her, Akatsuki gazed out the window. I don't know. Don't mind me. Do as you wish. Does that mean we don't have to travel together anymore, right? I'm going to be part of your family one way or another, so wouldn't it be better for us to get along? Akatsuki said, it's a political marriage, regardless. Hearing this, Rose covered her mouth to hide a laugh. Compared to, it's still better than a certain someone who can't even talk about marriage because they're afraid of ruining a friendship. So if you keep up this distance, nothing will change for the rest of our lives. Do you find it amusing to provoke me? Rose beamed, making her feelings clear. It was my only pleasure during the war, since I hadn't been able to do it for so long. So now I'm trying to get as much done as possible, even though I really want to see Ravi soon. But looking out the window, she quickly reminded Akatsuki to find out what His Majesty is thinking. Otherwise, he'll have to watch out for the Emperor's gaze when he returns. Akatsuki remained silent, his eyes filled with sorrow. I don't need to be told, I already know about the houses collapsing in a sea of flames, the war, the Emperor, and the priest. Why are so many things standing in our way? I just want to be by Ravi's side. A heartfelt letter with a picture of Ravi cradling a bouquet in someone else's arms. Akatsuki, I've met someone. Thinking of that, Akatsuki's face darkened. I can't take this anymore. The spot by Ravi's side is mine, and I don't want anything else getting in the way of our relationship. I just need to tell you I like you over and over again. How do I stop you from running away? At the Marquise's mansion, a knock sounded on the door. Alan looked at Ravi, who was lying exhausted in bed. Are you awake? The doctor said you have a cold, so your body is aching. No wonder you feel dizzy and have a cough. That's so strange. You were perfectly fine yesterday. By the window, Alan gripped the latch, glancing back at her. Maybe it's because you relaxed after receiving Akatsuki's letter. Stress can really wear you out. Just focus on getting plenty of rest for now. Oh gosh, lying in bed with my face all flushed like this, I'm getting stressed out without even realizing it. After Akatsuki left, the sorrowful days began to multiply. I realized the peace I've enjoyed all this time was just an illusion, one that has been painstakingly maintained ever since I held Akatsuki's hand at 7 years old. Just a painstakingly maintained illusion. This is my reality. At that thought, Ravi curled up and pulled the blanket tighter around herself. At times like this, if Akatsuki were here... No, that's not a good way to think. Akatsuki has his own life, and I'm not a kid anymore. I have to overcome this by myself. Just a few seconds later, Ravi shakily shot up in bed. I'm going out, which startled Alan. What are you saying? You should be resting on a day like this, Ravi yelled. Don't try to stop me. You don't understand how I feel, Alan. Ravi's outburst left, Alan stunned and confused. Being sick is truly awful, but what's even worse is just lying around. After a few seconds, she placed her feet on the floor and began to walk unsteadily, thinking to herself as she went. If this approach doesn't work, I'll have to find the next priest. I need to find someone to marry me, and fast. The next morning, Ravi was standing outside the mansion's main gate. If I bring Alan, he'll just nag me the whole time. When you're this frustrated, it's better to go alone. Today, I'll try pulling the sick and frail card. Suddenly, a voice rang out, calling her name, Ravi. She quickly whipped her head around. Could that voice be? That's right, Ravi. It's been a while. Ravi stood frozen and asked, Who are you? Falcon? I'm Falcon. Oh, so that's his name. But we're not exactly on a first-name basis anymore, are we? You're as cold as ever. Then Falcon gently lifted Ravi's hand. I've missed you, Ravi. This is Falcon Smith, son of the long-standing Count Smith family. He discovered his divine power and became a priest, and he was my first boyfriend. But there was just one problem. He was also dating 9 other girls. Falcon gently caressed Ravi's fingers, saying, After we broke up, Ravi, I did a lot of self-reflection. I've taken care of the other girls, and it wasn't the kind of relationship you think it was. Ravi snatched her hand back, trembling. That has nothing to do with me. Now let go. Ignoring her, Falcon kept pleading. Come on, just think about it again. Ravi sighed helplessly. I want to refuse, but I don't have the strength, and I can't give this up either. My body was already so weak, wasn't it? Being teased, Ravi got angry. You want to die? If I scream right now, you'd better come clean. Ravi, do you really not need me anymore? I heard you're only meeting with priests, but I can give you what you want. Her hand trembled. Why don't I have the strength to refuse someone like him? On the contrary, I even think I shouldn't do this, but just having that light would make me feel so much better, like a blazing fire. This dizzying fever would disappear just by holding his hand. Falcon needed to draw that light into his hand, but before that, apologize for badmouthing me, you hurt my feelings. She frowned. This guy is unbelievable. I'm going to lose my mind. No matter how hungry you are, you shouldn't eat trash. I'd wish for nothing more than to slap him just once. Pressing his advantage, Falcon Milo urged, Come on, hurry up. Suddenly, quiet footsteps approached. Get away from Ravi. Behind Ravi, the tall and muscular Akatsuki appeared, and Ravi's eyes widened in complete shock. Akatsuki? Akatsuki lowered his gaze and told Ravi to go on ahead, but Falcon was still gripping Ravi's hand tightly. Who are you? Mind your own business and just keep walking, or else. Akatsuki quickly drew his sword. Wouldn't it be faster to just slice that hand off? Falcon froze, shocked by his words. Gradually, his hand loosened, and Ravi just ran straight to Akatsuki. She threw herself into his arms, overjoyed. Is it really you? Yeah, it's me, Ravi whispered. There's something I need to do. Now that Akatsuki was back, she quickly turned her head to look at Falcon and raised her hand high. A slap landed right across Falcon's face, making him spit. Don't ever show your face to me again, you scumbag. She slapped him so hard she lost her balance and fell backward, but Akatsuki caught her perfectly in his arms. Being held by the one she missed so much, she had a blissful look on her face. Life, and the people you trust, are truly full of surprises. Falcon held his stinging cheek. Ravi, how could you do that to me? Even though it didn't hurt one bit. The moment he finished speaking, Akatsuki, still holding Ravi, kicked Falcon square in the stomach. It sent him flying backward. Don't say her name so freely. Ravi doesn't like it. Whoa, that looked like it hurt. Later, Ravi sat on her bed in a daze. This isn't a dream, is it? Akatsuki came back and got rid of Falcon, and he healed me, then carried me to my bedroom. It all happened so fast that it doesn't feel real. Maybe I should pinch myself. Then her eyes shifted to Alan, who was standing to the side, avoiding her gaze. You didn't hear anything just now? He answered evasively. I didn't hear a thing. Ravi laughed and said, I thought I heard Falcon. Screaming. I did curse him to break a leg earlier. Unnoticed, Akatsuki was peeking through the crack of the door and whispered. That wish came true. Ravi quickly asked. But where did Akatsuki go? He just got back. Is that so? Ravi turned around. But he was here, Alan. Yes, and it seems like Akatsuki has changed a bit. A memory came flooding back to her. Ravi, come here. In that moment, I hesitated without even realizing it. She looked at him hesitantly, because it was the first time Akatsuki had ever called her like that, with an expression she'd never seen before. In that brief, unfamiliar moment, a piercing scream rang out. Ah, please stop. Stop it right now. I give up. I will never see Miss Ravi again. Akatsuki pinned his head down with his foot and asked, What exactly did you do back there? What did you do after Ravi told you to stop? Falcon, pressed to the ground, said, I was wrong. Back at the mansion, Alan called out, Hey, Miss Ravi, I wonder if you dislike Sir Akatsuki's changed appearance. Thinking back on the atmosphere from earlier, it seems Sir Akatsuki still likes you, Miss Ravi. From the bed, Ravi turned and asked, What is there to like and what is there to dislike? We're friends. He was just worried about whether my personality had changed or not. It's probably because he couldn't see his brother. Alan thought to himself, this kind of reaction from you is the hardest to deal with. It was just a little surprising, that's all. The pink hair that I like is still the same. Come to think of it, I could feel his body heat from behind me. The feeling of his embrace must be the same. The only difference is his body has become more solid. Miss Ravi, your face is still red. Are you all right? She hurriedly replied, Oh, I'm fine, Alan. You may go now, she thought to herself. My fever still hasn't gone away. Why is my face suddenly getting so hot? Out in the mansion's hallway, Akatsuki walked, lost in thought. I lost my mind as soon as I arrived. I only found out after reading the letter, seeing an image of Ravi with another man. I can give you what you want. I never expected Ravi to make that kind of expression. If I had known, I would have done a lot more damage. No, I have to get a grip. Seeing Ravi is the top priority right now. Akatsuki called out for permission. Ravi, may I come in? Inside, she happily agreed. Yeah, come on in. With her permission, he grabbed the handle and opened the door. It felt like her voice came from right beside him, and suddenly Akatsuki's eyes froze. Ravi was standing cheerfully right in front of him. Come on in. Seeing her rush toward him, a surprised Akatsuki quickly asked, Ravi, why are you standing so close to the door? Ravi explained, I'm standing at a distance where I won't get hurt even if the door opens. That way, you can see me the instant you step inside. We didn't get to greet each other properly earlier. Isn't this a fun welcome? Akatsuki pulled her into a hug. No, it's not that. I'm very happy. The two of them just hugged each other like that. I really missed you, Ravi. I missed you a lot too, but you didn't even send me a letter, you dummy, Akatsuki. I'm sorry about that. There was a reason. Will you forgive me? Ravi seemed unable to contain her emotions as Akatsuki's face moved closer to hers. Ravi suddenly remembered something, her hand cupping his cheek. Then in that case, I'll have to confirm it myself. She pulled Akatsuki and threw him onto the bed. Seeing Ravi standing before him with her arms crossed, Akatsuki wondered, why, the bed? Wait a minute, I'm checking to see if you're injured anywhere. Ravi gently lifted Akatsuki's chin. You really did return safely, with no pain or scars anywhere. At first glance, everything looks normal. She thought, that gentle and innocent expression is definitely the Akatsuki I used to know. Ravi's face just kept getting redder. I was definitely mistaken earlier. Akatsuki asked, are you just going to keep staring at me like this? Ravi calmly replied, yeah, are you embarrassed or something? Compared to that, I don't think I need to take a closer look. What's that supposed to mean? Akatsuki grabbed the collar of his shirt, quickly stripping off his outer jacket and tossing it onto the bed. A muscular physique was revealed, as Akatsuki's hands continued to unbutton his shirt. The action made Ravi cover her eyes, her face flushed red. Akatsuki, what are you doing? You said you wanted to check if you were thinking straight? You can't tell just by looking. Ravi's entire face was flushed red. I mean, that's true, but I'm going crazy. I can't take my eyes off of that body. Ravi's eyes were glued to his six-pack. Akatsuki, do you really think you can joke around like that? Besides, Akatsuki has a really great body. I have a bad feeling about this. She clenched her fists, squeezed her eyes shut, and screamed internally, no, don't look. Ravi, where did you learn to be like this? She fell silent with an embarrassed expression, not noticing Akatsuki's intense gaze. Because you said you wanted to check, so I showed you. Akatsuki took Ravi's hand, guiding it and pressing it directly against his firm, muscular chest. If it's hard to tell by looking, then check it like this. She quickly snatched her hand back. Wait, hold on a second. Who in the world turned this innocent kid into someone like this? Ravi buttoned up Akatsuki's shirt, hanging her head in defeat. Hey, Akatsuki, you can't just take your shirt off like that in front of anyone. Akatsuki looked puzzled. Why? Why is that? Showing that off will cause a huge problem. The problem is actually with my heart. Akatsuki lowered his gaze slightly. But you've done this in front of me before. I can do anything in front of you. An image of their younger selves flashed in her mind, of the care she showed him back then. Akatsuki, if it's you, I'm willing to accept it all. Then back to the present, Akatsuki's hand slowly reached for Ravi's chin, even though I did say that. But that was several years ago. They stood close together, sharing a tender look. Ravi, breathe. She was surprised, huh? She quickly turned her head away. Was I holding my breath? So that's why my heart was pounding like that. Catching her breath, Ravi complained. Ah, so intense. It's just because your face was so close to mine. He suddenly looked at Ravi, whose face was flushed from holding her breath. If that's the case, then what should I do? Akatsuki's face slowly turned red as he moved closer to her. I have so many things I want to do with you. But hearing his words, she was so embarrassed she froze for a few seconds, facing Akatsuki. She was just like a statue. What in the world are you trying to do? She stammered. Why have you been acting like this? This kind of joke isn't funny. Every time she touches Akatsuki, it feels so strange. Her whole body tenses up. Then Akatsuki brought his lips close to Ravi's ear. It feels just like when I receive a lot of energy from him. Just like now. A sweet kiss was planted. Akatsuki planted one on her blushing cheek. She raised a hand to cover the spot he had just kissed. Akatsuki, are you even listening to me? Akatsuki replied softly, I'm listening, but if you don't like it, you should make it clear. That's what you said, right? That if you didn't like it, you'd say so. Did you really not like that just now? Ravi was suddenly lost in thought. It's not that I liked it, but it's not that I disliked it either. But seeing her expression, Akatsuki gently coaxed her. I really can't answer that right now, but just as she finished the thought, he hugged Ravi, kissing her cheek, then moving down near her arm. Akatsuki, wait! In a matter of seconds, Akatsuki's lips were nibbling on Ravi's ear, and it seemed like she was being flooded with emotion. Ravi's hands grabbed his shoulders. It's not that I don't like it, but what in the world is this feeling? It feels completely different from the feeling of being healed. In an instant, a scream echoed. Stop, just stop it. Ravi pushed Akatsuki away with her hands. Why do you keep kissing me like this? Is this part of the treatment? The question made him look down, blushing furiously. It's not for the treatment. She stammered. Huh? Then why? Why are you doing this? Other than for treatment, what reason would Akatsuki have to touch me? Ravi carefully analyzed a whole list of reasons, none of which were reasons why normal people kiss. Because, looking at her, Akatsuki confessed, I like you. I've always liked you. The shock made Ravi flinch in alarm. There's no way Akatsuki could like her. What? What in the world are you saying right now? But he still insisted, I said that I've liked you for a very long time. Ravi momentarily felt dizzy. She was completely stunned by his words. What are you talking about? The one you like is my brother, isn't it? Akatsuki's face darkened as he immediately retorted, absolutely not. Ravi recounted the things Akatsuki had said. Then why on earth would you think that? He used to visit often. You like blonde hair and blue eyes. You also read books just like my brother. And what's more, she suddenly bit her lip. What about the kiss in the original story? Akatsuki composed himself, looked at Ravi, and explained, all of that was because of you, Ravi. The things you just mentioned were because of Werner? Because Ravi has blue hair and blue eyes, a house like Werner's, and only reads because she has no stamina. Who? She froze solid and asked, is that really true? Akatsuki stated firmly, I don't like men. I have only ever liked you, Ravi. She stood there in a panic, as Ravi clutched her head and leaned against the wall, feeling dizzy. So it really wasn't Werner after all? Wait, hold on. Her hand pressed against the window pane. Then what was everything I've done until now for? And more importantly, since when? Ravi remembered 3 years ago, in the carriage, when the two of them slept peacefully in each other's arms. If not, then maybe it was during the attack when Akatsuki was holding Ravi, or could it have been even longer ago? Ravi turned her head away, refusing to look at Akatsuki. Akatsuki, just how much of what I did back then did you see? Since I was 5? No, that's not right. I can't remember exactly either. You're lying. How can you say you don't remember something like that? But I really don't remember. I'm serious. I don't like you as a friend. I like you as more than that. Ravi's face turned red once more, and she quickly turned back to the window. Even so, I can't believe it just like that. I never even thought you liked girls. Hearing what Ravi said, Akatsuki looked momentarily sad, covering his face with a hand she didn't notice. If you'd known, things wouldn't have been like this for so long. She looked back. Huh? When did you get behind me? Then I'll just have to confirm it for you, he said, surprising her. What? What was that? That you like girls? What are you on about now? How exactly do you confirm something like that? But Akatsuki just smiled. Who knows? Some thought must have crossed Ravi's mind, because she blushed and warned, what exactly are you implying? Never mind, you don't have to do it. Oh really? That's a shame. They stood face to face for a few seconds, then she quickly made a run for it. First of all, let's talk about this later. Watching Ravi flee, Akatsuki could only sigh as he looked on. Oh boy, she ran off. The sound of footsteps echoed through the mansion's corridors. It was her running. Ravi was sprinting ahead. I really can't believe it. Akatsuki and me? How could that be? Her expression was one of pure bewilderment. Something is definitely wrong here. One afternoon, bathed in the sunset's glow, Akatsuki approached her in a picturesque garden and spoke up. There you are. He stood by a tree, looking down at Ravi who was sitting there. Ravi, why have you been avoiding me? Seeing Akatsuki, Ravi, with leaves stuck in her hair, stammered. When did I ever? He pressed on. I haven't even done anything, and you're already running away. Haven't done what? Akatsuki suddenly knelt down. Keep talking, he said, his face showing obvious interest. What kind of kiss did you let her give you? Inside, Ravi was tearing her hair out. Why do I suddenly feel so judged in this situation? After watching her for a long moment, Akatsuki suggested, why are you closing your eyes like that? This time, let me kiss you on the lips. Ravi's jaw dropped in shock, and she flatly refused, their voices echoing across the courtyard. Are you going to keep saying things like that? Akatsuki asked with an innocent face. What? She clenched her fists and stammered, I've been telling you I was just checking on you this whole time. I mean, it would be much better to check on your lips. Are you shy? Akatsuki lowered his head and whispered, why? It's not like it's your first kiss. The two of them just stood there, frozen, staring at each other. Ravi's mind went blank, her eyes as if hypnotized. What are you saying now? I've never kissed anyone before? Could it be? Her heart filled with jealous flames as she thought of the admirers who always surrounded Akatsuki. Has this guy really kissed someone on the battlefield before? Well, that makes sense. For someone this handsome, how could it not have happened? Or does he think that because I've met other people, this isn't my first time? If that's it, that's so unfair. Her body trembled as she knelt on the ground. Lowering her face before Akatsuki, she stammered, I. Ravi raised her head and confessed. If I kiss you this time, it'll be my very first kiss. Her words left Akatsuki stunned. Then he suddenly covered his mouth and started to chuckle. You still don't remember, do you? He asked, leaving her bewildered. Why are you laughing? What do you mean I still don't remember? Akatsuki gazed at Ravi intently. His hand lifted a strand of her shimmering blonde hair. Try to remember carefully. Ravi felt so strange. I've never thought of Akatsuki as just another person. Why do I keep getting so flustered? It must be because he's changed so much in the time we haven't seen each other. Or am I just flustered because of his confession? I don't remember, she said, her eyes squeezed shut after hiding it for so long. After all this time, why confess so suddenly? Akatsuki leaned back and looked at Ravi. I don't have anything to say to that. Actually, I wanted to prepare nice clothes and a gift for the moment you made my heart race. Akatsuki knelt before Ravi, offering her a bouquet as if proposing. But as soon as I arrived, I saw a rather unpleasant sight. I admit, I was a little impulsive, The image of that falcon guy tightly holding your hand flashed in my mind. Seeing Akatsuki getting sidetracked, Ravi clenched her fist and raised it angrily. I told you about that person in a letter. You didn't have any reaction back then. Wait a second, Ravi. The back of your hand is hurt. Ravi quickly pulled her hand away. It looks like you scraped it while you were hiding in a rush, but that's not important right now. What could possibly be more important than you being injured? I'll heal it for you. Hearing that, she panicked and shrank back. He's saying that again? Heal what? Wait, don't tell me that holding my hand until now wasn't for the pure purpose of healing? Akatsuki chuckled softly and confessed. That's right. Ravi was shocked. Her face turned red, and she shot to her feet. You've been tricking me this entire time? Akatsuki looked at Ravi and thought to himself, she has no idea how obvious I'm being, even though it's incredibly cute. After a moment, he spoke up. So I shouldn't do that from now on? You're not going to heal me anymore? But it's still difficult. Akatsuki placed a kiss on her hand. From now on, I won't do it just by holding your hand. It made her blush as she watched Akatsuki tenderly kiss her hand. So, how will you do it then? You're not going to only do it with kisses, are you? Akatsuki's eyes twinkled. No way. That's so shameless. Akatsuki stood up. Shameless or not, I have no other choice. If I don't do this, Ravi will never figure it out. The two of them stood face to face, holding hands tightly. Okay, now what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What? I hope you'll always be safe and sound. Even though we haven't seen each other in a long time, I have absolutely no intention of being with Akatsuki. Ravi's eyes suddenly narrowed, but she gazed at Akatsuki in front of her. Wouldn't it be better if I became Akatsuki's lover? To be honest, finding a priest is really hard, so should I just go for it? He's treated me this way since we were kids. I never saw him as a romantic partner. I never even thought of it. She recalled their childhood. The two of them were inseparable like a shadow, standing back to back. When he returned from war, she reacted harshly. Her tangled hair stood on end like a porcupine's quills. This is real. Do you want to kiss this time? Just think of it as revenge. That's fine. We can do it as friends. Friends, that one word threw her mind into chaos as broken memories returned to reality. Her cheeks flushed red, scolding herself for feeling this way. Akatsuki was standing very close. Just close your eyes for a bit. Yeah, he didn't want to waste any more time either, so he gently closed his eyes. She blushed beet red. If she just let it happen, it would be just like when they were little, handsome and kind, my kind friend. Then she lunged forward, lifting his chin with one hand, while his arms spread wide to catch her. She pressed her face close to his, her hands wrapping around his neck. What do I think about Akatsuki? Suddenly, the image of Akatsuki confessing to her interrupted her thoughts. I like you, Ravi. This distracted her. Their lips were just about to touch, when they suddenly stopped. I don't feel the same way as Akatsuki. Is it okay to do this? She quickly screamed. Ah, I was wrong. The sound of rustling grass. Someone's feet were stepping closer to the two of them. Werner, covered in leaves, walked over. Hearing her brother's voice, Ravi was startled and couldn't help but wonder, why are you here? Then they both spoke in unison. What are you doing here? The three of them stood frozen like statues. Ravi and Werner looked at each other awkwardly. Why did he have to appear looking like that? It was Ravi who wasn't too close to Akatsuki. Come on, he asked back. But you asked first. In the middle of the siblings bickering, a familiar figure with fiery red hair approached. Rose spoke up. You missed it. It's okay. There's still enough time now. As the sunset slowly faded, inside the Diana mansion, Werner and Ravi sat together. The table was laid with all sorts of sweets and hot tea. Just as Werner started to ask about Akatsuki, she cut in. He said he came to greet father. Are you really not going to answer me? I'm not usually home at this time. So what were you doing in the back garden, Werner? Startled, he said. Ravi, you were there too. You were with Akatsuki. He was only halfway through his sentence when her face flushed red, remembering how their lips had almost touched. She jumped up agitatedly and slammed the table, startling him. Don't tell me you left sister-in-law behind to do that weird thing? I told you to be careful. Ah, because the dress she was wearing was too long? When she stood up suddenly, she stepped on her own dress and tripped. Werner shouted worriedly, Ravi! He then rushed over to his sister. Luckily, she caught herself on the table, so she was fine. What's wrong? Are you hurt somewhere? She answered, trembling. Because I stepped on my dress. But he couldn't help but worry. Should I call a doctor or the family doctor? You could have broken your leg for all we know. We have to check if your toes can move, she snapped. Stop making a fuss. And so, he had to carry her back to her room on his back, personally holding her purple high heels in his hand. She complained, you really don't have to go this far. No can do. You need to lie down quietly until the priest arrives tomorrow. Tesk, since I know nothing about Akatsuki's abilities, I have no other choice. I thought he would just silently continue taking me to my room. But then he suddenly called my name, Ravi. Huh? He was quiet for a long moment. Then after some hesitation, he spoke. I'm getting married soon, she asked in surprise. Really? The engagement was simplified, so at the very least the wedding ceremony has to be held properly, right? I told you first because I was afraid you'd be sad. She replied cheerfully, what's all this? I'm thinking, this is highly commendable. Her eyes widened as she thought, for him to get married so happily like this is as wonderful as the thought of Akatsuki liking me. My brother likes girls too, of course. Or maybe he's always liked both. She imagined Werner holding Rose's hand affectionately, both of them in gorgeous outfits. She asked curiously, "When are you getting married?" "I don't know yet. I have to discuss the specifics with my bride-to-be." As they were talking, Ravi suddenly became furious. She wrapped her arms tightly around her brother's neck and yelled, "What? You met my sister-in-law earlier and didn't say a word to me. Ravi, it's dangerous to choke me like that." After a moment, Werner managed to get her to her room, where she sat curled up on the bed. "How could you? I can't believe she only met you." "How is my sister-in-law? Is she hurt anywhere? You didn't even think to check that? She's your fiancé and you don't even know?" He blushed and hurriedly tried to explain. Well, it wasn't exactly the right situation to be checking on that sort of thing. That afternoon in the garden, wait a moment. Rose teased, "Oh my, haven't you waited long enough?" Werner was pressed against a large tree, his cheeks flushed. "I told you to wait and see what I'd do when I returned. Are you curious whether your fiancée is a proper lady?" "Well, Werner?" Werner's face turned beet red as he stammered. Of course, even if other girls pursued me, I wouldn't give them a single glance." "Is that so?" He peeked one eye open, just like an adorable puppy. Suddenly, Rose snatched the tie from his neck. "So someone is pursuing you?" He was like a little bunny facing a black panther. He shrieked, and in a flash of embarrassment, the bunny bolted. He left the black panther all alone. Even now, his face was red to the tips of his ears, and he couldn't meet his sister's questioning gaze. "Anyway, you should get some rest now, Ravi. I'm leaving." With that, he dashed out the door, leaving her stunned. She frowned helplessly and asked, "What's with him? Ruining the mood by being so cold again? This is unacceptable. I'm following him next time." After Werner left, Ravi slammed the door shut, leaned against it, and covered her blushing face as she thought of Rose. Just then, Akatsuki arrived and asked, "Is Ravi in her room?" "Yes, but that's enough for today. Let Ravi rest." She stepped on her dress and twisted her ankle a bit earlier. "She's already injured? Then I'll just have to see her for a bit." "Stop. Don't overdo it. Ravi has become much weaker without you. She could probably be bedridden for a whole year." An image of Ravi in a blue dress, sinking helplessly under the water, appeared. The next day, in the study of the Daya mansion, Werner sat at his desk and asked Akatsuki a serious question. "You still like Ravi?" Hearing that, Akatsuki asked in surprise, "What?" Werner raised the wine glass in his hand and continued, "Still thinking about getting married? If you say no, I'll be disappointed. Why are you asking that?" "It's not that, although it breaks my heart, it would be very difficult for the Duchess to be bedridden all day." Werner said, with teary eyes, "I understand enough." Akatsuki looked at him with suspicion. "That's not the reaction of someone who understands." Werner said, "Ravi grew up healthier, so I thought it would be fine, but the doctor said she would get weaker later on. I heard her health has declined more rapidly in recent years. Maybe that's why I often have nightmares." Hearing this, Akatsuki thought to himself, is that why she started seeing priests? Even though they say it's been a while, she must have had to use a lot of healing power. She also gets tired more quickly. At this point, Akatsuki promised Werner, "It's okay even if she doesn't want to get married. I will protect Ravi for the rest of my life." Werner asked, "When the situation stabilizes, you should step back from the front lines and have some fun and spend a lot of money at the mansion with Ravi, right?" Looking at his wine glass, Akatsuki said, "I'm surprised you think that way. I thought you were ambitious about power, but—" Werner interrupted, "It might look that way, but I will choose the path where Ravi can live more comfortably to avoid dangerous paths." Akatsuki was lost in thought for a long time, then answered the earlier question. "Even if Ravi is frail, my feelings won't change. In fact, I want to be by her side even more. If the condition Ravi wants is healing ability, then I am the most perfect candidate. Assuming I didn't have this ability, then we would have to call a priest every day, and it's not like the family would fall apart from a lack of social activities. I can handle the duties of the Duchess in her place. We don't need an heir. As long as she is by my side, I'm confident I can do anything. Why won't you just accept it?" At this moment, Werner said again, "Even if it's just words, I thank you. Ravi is my precious little sister, so I was curious about your thoughts. Anyway, I have something I want to ask." What is it?" "If she's so precious, why did you let her meet people like that?" Hearing this, Werner spat out the wine he was drinking. "What was I supposed to do if Ravi liked them? If it were me, I would have made a list of decent priests and given it to Ravi first, even if it meant investigating their backgrounds. Even with a selection process, it was still careless to let her meet just anyone. I'm sorry about that. Calm down. You should be apologizing to Ravi." Alright, there's a list of families that have hurt Ravi. Use it to put pressure on the Marquis's house." Akatsuki smirked dangerously. "That's great. Can I get that list?" A while later, Akatsuki and Alan stood in front of the room. Akatsuki asked, "Originally, no one was allowed in, but I can go in, right?" "Do you know what I'm gonna do?" Alan replied. "Akatsuki will do things that Ravi dislikes, because she'd think she'd rather die. And Ravi is at her healthiest when she's with Akatsuki." Akatsuki smiled and said, "Yeah, that's right." Inside the room, Ravi was sleeping on the bed. Akatsuki whispered as he walked in, "I didn't know Alan was that observant." As expected, Ravi is the only one who doesn't understand my heart. Akatsuki gazed at Ravi intently, thinking to himself, is this what Werner was talking about? "Whenever I'm not here, you have sudden nightmares." Ravi cried out for Akatsuki, making him freeze, tears unknowingly rolling down her face as she continuously called his name. Akatsuki leaned down and asked, "Why are you calling for me in that tone? Are you worried about me on the battlefield? Or is it because you're sick? Whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. This is really nice. If you'd still want me like this, even when you're awake." He gently reached out his hand to touch her face and transfer his power. At this rate, she'll probably be fine until morning. Suddenly, Ravi's arm reached up. "Akatsuki, don't go." Akatsuki's face flushed red as he asked doubtfully, "Ravi isn't awake, is she?" Then he chuckled and said, "What am I really supposed to do with you?" "What's this?" Ravi could sense a pleasant, warm scent from somewhere. The sunlight felt soft on her skin, and it was easy to breathe. "It's been a while since I've had a morning like this, like I'm being held tightly in someone's arms." At that thought, she startled and silently exclaimed, "Huh? Who is it?" Akatsuki, lying beside her, gently asked, "Ravi, did you sleep well?" That was followed by a 7-octave scream that echoed through the mansion. "Ah, Akatsuki, why are you here? After I said goodbye to my father, I fell asleep, so shouldn't you have gone home?" "But Ravi, you called for me all night. I did?" She fell silent for a moment, lost in thought. Then Akatsuki reached out and stroked her hair. "That expression on your face says it all, doesn't it? What in the world did you dream about? Sometimes you have incomprehensible dreams when you're injured or sick. That's just how it is. The moment you wake up, the memories get all jumbled, and you only realize it was a nightmare because of your swollen eyes and bruises." Thinking this, Ravi replied, "I don't remember anything at all. Sometimes it's like that when you're not feeling well, but you're fine after you wake up. That's what Jenny or Alan told me. It seems I appeared in your dream, and even though I don't know what happened, let me make it happen for you. Whatever I couldn't do in the dream, I can do in reality." As he finished speaking, Akatsuki suddenly kissed her on the forehead. Ravi yelled, "I already said I don't remember. What are you talking about? What kind of snake oil are you trying to sell?" Akatsuki said, "If we do this and that, I'm sure you'll remember. Just stop it. If you keep this up, you're banned from sleeping in my room." Akatsuki leaned on his hands on the bed. "Is that so?" He moved closer to her and said, "I can do anything with you, right? Whether it's holding hands, hugging, or even sleeping together. Should I go on?" She replied flustered, "No, that was from when we were kids." Ravi was 15 years old, an age where according to the Empire's law she was already old enough to get married. "You'd need our parents' permission to do that." "Then I'll go get permission right now and be right back." "You're unbelievable. It's a different story now, because I like you, right?" Ravi smacked Akatsuki in the face with a pillow. "You're insane. That expression is banned too." She thought to herself, up until now, everything was fine, because he was the safest friend in the world. But that friend was no longer safe. Akatsuki spoke again. "We've already kissed. It's been like this since yesterday." "I've never kissed you. That's a really dangerous statement to make. Don't tell me you're confusing a peck with a kiss." "Ravi, think hard about when we did it. Think about it and tell me where. I told you it never happened. I just can't remember my dream, but I wouldn't forget anything else." Then how about we just do again what I remember? We can just confirm it that way, right? Just hold only me. I'll accept anything. Let's stay by each other's side until we go to sleep, okay? I'm going crazy. I can't deny a single thing. This is all more important than my entire career," Ravi said. "Hand me that pillow. I'm just gonna lie down for a bit." She lay with her face turned away, thinking to herself, he's not leaving even so, is he? Akatsuki, still sitting by her side, called out, "Ravi, is it okay for me to be beside you? If it's just holding hands?" I'll only hold your hand. Do you remember what I said yesterday?" "I heard you say a lot. Well, sort of. If this was before, I would have just quietly waited for your answer, but I'm not going to do that now." She immediately turned to ask, "If not that, then what are you planning to do?" "I don't know yet. You'll find out later." "Oh my gosh, you're trying to provoke me, aren't you?" Akatsuki quickly replied. "For starters, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I hate the same things you do, so take that back. It can only be healed with a kiss." She thought to herself, even if it's selfish, there's no other way. I still can't give up on Akatsuki's ability to heal wounds. Hearing that, Akatsuki beamed and replied, I know." She glared and cursed. "Akatsuki, you idiot. How can he smile so beautifully when I'm asking for a favor like this? It's really weighing on my conscience. Getting this much energy from Akatsuki so early in the morning, this is really nice." Suddenly, Akatsuki went quiet, then smiled and said, "I'm going to confess one more time, so say what you just said again. Hey, why are you always like this? There's no other way. I will continue to endure it. We can't go back to being friends now." Ah. What am I really going to do? Dealing with Akatsuki from now on is probably going to be very difficult. The next day, Ravi was sitting in a lush green garden, doodling on the ground with a stick when a voice rang out, "Oh my, you came all this way because you missed me, right?" "Huh, no." Caleb sat down beside her and asked, "So what are you doing here? What about the vice captain?" "I don't want to talk to Alan right now." She recalled an earlier time. "Alan, do you know anything?" "About my Akatsuki." Alan immediately cut in and replied, "You're so confident. I know everything except for you." At that point, she said, "I don't trust anyone right now. Even so, you don't trust me either?" "No, you're the most trustworthy person I know." "You've lied before though," Caleb teased. "Oh, come on, don't be like that. Just confess everything to me, milady." "Dating again? What are you talking about? Can I really confess everything to Caleb?" "The problem is, your luck in love is pretty much a total disaster. It's not like I'm dating anyone right now. Then what's that nonsensical drawing about? It sounds like a story about a young nobleman returning from war. It's a story about friendship between a guy and a girl. Where's the friendship? That young nobleman doesn't seem to think you're just friends. What? How are you so sure? I can tell just by looking. He only ever looks at you, milady, with an expression that says he's head over heels for you. Since you've already heard his confession, aren't you worried? In that case, you're not friends anymore. She angrily raised the tiny stick in her hand. We are friends. I told you we're still friends. Ah, why are you acting like this? If you get hurt, I'm the only one who will get an earful. With that, Caleb snatched the branch from her hand. But then, Ravi started to tremble, startling him. Milady, why are you losing your spirit over something like this? Ravi asked. Is it true? Can we not be friends anymore? Can we really not go back to being friends? If you lie to me, I won't be able to see you again, right? Of course. Who stays friends after getting rejected? If that was an option, they wouldn't have confessed in the first place. It could be a change of heart or just a misunderstanding. I'd want to stay by their side even as friends. Wow, that's so cruel. Do you really think that's the extent of his feelings? Raviat froze when she heard that, and Caleb continued, if you break up, he'll get hurt. He'll cry his eyes out and then go find another girl. Raviat looked at his expression and declared, you're as flippant as ever. I thought everything would be resolved after the war ended, but I never expected I'd have to worry about this. How could it be Akatsuki and me? An image of Akatsuki appeared in her mind, smiling brightly as he confessed. Ravi, I like you. I've always liked you. And he placed a sweet kiss on her lips. At this point, she screamed, no matter how I think about it, it's weird, but I hate the idea of never seeing him again. But we're not on the same page. Lying and saying I like him back wouldn't be so bad, right? After thinking it over, Raviat asked, what should I do? He's my only friend. Caleb glanced at her thoughtfully and said, whatever you decide, don't worry about it. If things don't go your way, there's always another method. What kind of method? What if Caleb brought about 100 priests? You never know. If you want, I'll do it. Caleb, you're not planning a kidnapping, are you? I wouldn't do that. Just trust me this once. Let's see now. Try saying something trustworthy for a change. Do you want some of the wine I secretly swiped? If Alan finds out, you're really gonna get it. Later, in the library, Raviat opened the pages of a novel. Do I really like you? We've been together since we were 5 years old. That's right. Ever since then, I've thought you were my destiny. What do you think of me, you fool? Of course I like you too. And so, they embraced and shared a sweet kiss. Reading up to this point, Raviat threw the book down hard. Can you believe this? If it happened that easily in real life, then from the start, we wouldn't have been just friends, and he would have pushed for an answer right after confessing. Why did she answer so quickly? There's no sincerity at all. Is dating just a joke? Alan approached and asked, my lady, why are you so angry at such a grand romance? You'd be better off reading another genre, she insisted. No way. I mean, Akatsuki's patience isn't normal, and if I don't mature. But why does this book's plot develop like this? Who on earth left these things here? I've had so many misunderstandings because of this genre. Hearing this, Alan just stood there dumbfounded. And these books are the criminals. Just then, a knock came at the door. My lady, I apologize for the interruption, but Master Akatsuki has arrived. What? Did you tell him to come in? Ravi panicked internally. What do I do? I still haven't prepared a proper answer. She rushed to the door. No, just tell him I'm not home. Yes, my lady. He's obviously here for an answer. Where can I hide? My room is too obvious. How about the back garden? No, he found me quickly last time too. Ah, it's better to hide somewhere like the kitchen. He'd never think to look for me there. I should probably take a different staircase than usual. She glanced around as she walked. Is the coast clear? I have to hide until Akatsuki goes home. Suddenly, an arm reached out from behind her. Ravi jumped and screamed, ah! Akatsuki smiled and said, how strange. I was told Ravi wasn't home. But here you are? Ravi laughed awkwardly and asked, oh, Akatsuki, you're here? I just got here too. She cried internally. I'm so screwed. Who would believe that? So that's it. I thought you were trying to throw me off again. Where does this road lead? Oh, the church. The church? Who are you meeting there? Ravi, startled, quickly explained. Whoa, wait a minute. It's not what you think. If it's not, then what is it? Actually, I lied to avoid the embarrassment. Then you should have just said you were going back. Why lie about going to the temple? Seeing Akatsuki was sulking, Ravi tried to coax him. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of anywhere else besides the temple. I was just trying to hide like it was a game of hide and seek. Suddenly, Akatsuki grabbed her hand. Is that right? Well then, the seeker has caught you now, so is it my turn to do whatever I want? Later in the carriage, Ravi asked Akatsuki, where are we going? To a place you'll like. I'm going to show you something very beautiful. Ravi blushed, thinking to herself, you're the most beautiful thing. A moment later, Akatsuki and Ravi were strolling somewhere together. This feels like a date, Ravi thought. Ravi, we're here. Ravi's eyes widened in surprise, huh? Seeing the fountain in front of her, she exclaimed, is this the wishing fountain? I've wanted to come here since I was a little girl. Akatsuki smiled and asked, you like it that much? We'll have to go to many other places from now on. I can think of so many places I want to go. Really? I wonder if my body can handle it? Don't worry, I'll always be right by your side. Watching the children making wishes and the couples in love, Ravi sighed to herself. Is the sun and wind always this gentle? It's so peaceful. It would be amazing if things could always be like this. but she suddenly recalled Kalep's words. Wow, how cruel. Who stays friends after getting rejected anyway? She worried to herself. That won't work then. Suddenly, Akatsuki said to Ravi, let's make a wish together. Here's a coin. Ravi's eyes filled with tears as she accused Akatsuki. Aren't you being unreasonable? Seeing her reaction, a bewildered Akatsuki asked. Suddenly she pointed right at him. How long have we been together now? How can you say you have no thought of going back to being friends? I really don't understand. Hearing this, the nearby girls began to whisper. Looks like the guy is in the wrong. I think so too. A helpless Akatsuki tried to placate Ravi. Please, calm down first. She continued to yell. Of course I held your hand, touched your hair, and then you just force yourself to sleep and leave. You even said you'd propose and that I could do anything. But by now, everyone was paying attention, and the crowd was getting bigger. Ravi, that's not what I'm like. The people in the crowd murmured. What's happening? It just looks like a couple's fight. Let's break it up, break it up. If it's not that, then what is it? Are you so sure you can go on without ever seeing me again? Akatsuki's expression darkened as he turned away. All this time, at the temple and in the garden, we've made wishes together. Every single time, my wish has been the same. As he said this, Akatsuki tossed a coin, then turned back to her and continued speaking. That I always want to be by your side, Ravi. Not going back to being friends doesn't mean I will ever leave you. My answer simply means I won't change how I feel. Come on, Ravi, you make a wish too. Even if you don't feel the same way, you're not going to cut me off completely, are you? It's okay. Just do whatever you want, Ravi. Whether you want to hold hands or hug, I'll give you the treatment you desire. In exchange, I'm going to do what I want. As soon as he finished speaking, he kissed her forehead. She yelped, what was that? That's just what normal lovers do. Akatsuki, it would be better if you thought of it that way. She pursed her lips, thinking to herself, although this conversation still feels incomplete. Why is Akatsuki smiling so contentedly? In reality, I don't have many choices, in the end. If my body feels unwell, I will just have to go back to Akatsuki. There is no other way. There is no other way. Other than to rely on Akatsuki's word that everything is fine. Just like that, my daily life returned to normal, even though it was only for a short time. At that moment, Ravi asked her maid, what is going on outside today? It's so noisy. About that, it is actually Falcon of Count Smith who has come to see you, my lady, Ravi said with a start. What? Alan's loud voice rang out from outside. This is your last warning. Please return home. Along with his pleas. Please, can you wait a moment? Please call Miss Ravi for me. Ravi went out, wondering to herself. What is this about? Falcon, his face covered in wounds, spoke up. Miss Ravi, please, could you let me in to talk for a moment? Ravi was surprised, thinking, What is this? He is not someone I know? Ravi said, how rude of you, to come here on your own and cause a commotion. Please leave at once, she thought to herself. How much must he look down on others to be so insistent? Immediately after, she was stunned when he suddenly dropped to his knees. Miss Ravi, I am so sorry for daring to come here unannounced, and for my mistake in meeting you. I apologize for brazenly fabricating the kidnapping story before. Seeing him cry while apologizing, Ravi could not believe it. Why is he suddenly acting like this? Falcon continued, if you were hurt by my actions during this time. Suddenly, a voice rang out. That is enough. Alan shielded Ravi, saying, I will drag him away if he gets any closer to you. Ravi was startled once again as he suddenly started wailing his apology. I am sorry. I have no other intentions. I just want you to understand my sincere heart, and I will never appear before you again. Can you not accept my apology? Seeing this, Ravi became even more frightened and quickly said, I get it. Do not come any closer, and stop prostrating on the floor. This is insane. As he was being dragged away by two soldiers, he still tried to shout, Thank you, Miss Ravi. You will really accept it, won't you? Afraid he would do something crazy. Ravi quickly said, I already told you to just go. After things quieted down, Ravi finally asked, what on earth was that all about? I do not know. I do not understand it either, but it feels like this is not the end. It is unsettling. Hearing her say that, Ravi immediately exclaimed in fear, What? The next day, a priest came to see me. Despite having a marriage prospect, he knelt and wailed, I was wrong, Miss Ravi. The following day, it was the priest with the largest age gap. The man bowed deeply and said solemnly, I have committed a sin worthy of death. And the day after that, the apology parade from the uninvited guests continued. Ravi's face showed clear bewilderment as she heard the phrase again. Please accept my apology, she screamed in frustration. I get it already. All of you just go away. Someone spoke up and asked, Don't tell me you did something to Akatsuki? He looked blankly at the speaker and asked back, What? I cannot believe Ravi noticed that. She has really grown up. Hearing that, Ravi got angry. There is no way I would not know. I thought you would not pay attention to these things. You have been treating me like I am dense since that last incident. I know everything I need to know. But now you're telling me you've only ever met guys like this, and I'm better than them, right? I still don't know how to teach those shameless priests a lesson. Akatsuki and Ravi were each lost in their own thoughts, of throwing down a gauntlet and demanding a duel, joining the family business, or even causing a scandal in high society. Just then, Akatsuki suddenly spoke, permit the relocation of the temple. Hearing that, she thought to herself, that's a bit much, and then Ravi asked worriedly, what if rumors start about the temple? Akatsuki replied calmly, on the contrary, that would be good, wouldn't it? If anyone messes with Ravi, then the rumor will be that Enoch won't let them get away with it, right? Ravi quickly said, "That's not good at all. Who would dare stand in my way alone? Of course, it's my fault that they came after you. I'm sorry. I'll handle things internally from now on." "Oh, whatever. Just do as you please." As she said it, she thought to herself, it ought to be illegal to look that handsome saying something like that. The old memories came flooding back. Even him feeding me just now. It feels like I'm being repaid for what I did when we were little. I wonder if Akatsuki feels the same way I did back then? Your health is my health. She suddenly set her fork down and said, "I'm not eating anymore." "What's wrong? You've barely eaten anything. If I keep eating like this?" Before the exquisite gifts, Ravi gasped in utter surprise. "You shouldn't worry so much. What is all this?" Akatsuki smiled and explained, "They're just some gifts for you. I can't even go outside, so why so many clothes? I'm sure you'll have an occasion to wear them very soon." The victory banquet was approaching. Not long ago, the emperor had summoned the key figures of the empire to one place. I wish to commend those who have distinguished themselves in the war. This time, we shall hold a banquet to celebrate the victory. Someone voiced their objection. "Your Majesty, that is a fine idea, but Prince Felix is still handling the war negotiations. At the very least, shouldn't we hold the banquet after the prince returns?" Another person spoke up. "The prince would understand. Is it not our top priority to comfort the people who have suffered so much from the war?" The nobles who supported Prince Felix and the supporters of Prince Jacast were at odds. The emperor, sitting on his throne, said thoughtfully, "What are the opinions of the others?" As the words of the neutral nobles became crucial, Enoch raised his hand and brought the matter to a close. Akatsuki turned to Ravi. "I'll also be receiving a medal that day, and there will be talk of commendations, so I hope you'll come too." Ravi blushed shyly and asked, "Me? I'm going too? I've never been to a ball before." "Then you'll be making your debut at my ball." Ravi thought with anticipation. "Making my debut at a royal banquet. Can I really dance and greet everyone? Besides, I really want to see Akatsuki receive his medal." Ravi asked, "But is it really all right to accept the emperor's invitation? It could be seen as taking the crown prince's side. I'll remain neutral, if possible. The emperor probably wouldn't be pleased if I chose a side." "What?" Compared to opposing him, being his ally is even more annoying. I can see clear as day how much he despises Enoch, and I want to distort that face of his even more. What the heck? Anyway, that's not the important part. "Ravi, would you like to be my partner for the ball?" The question made her a bit flustered. "Me? With him? With you, Ravi." "Okay, sure." That evening, she thought in a panic, "I already agreed. Is that going to be okay? We're just going together as friends, that's all. We'll have to practice dancing beforehand, won't we? Otherwise." Werner suddenly peeked in through the door and spoke to Ravi. "If you're not asleep yet, can I come in for a second?" "Brother, what is it? I found some good medicine this time. Even if it only helps a little, I wanted to bring it to you right away." Werner held out the cup. "Why is it this color? It probably tastes awful." "I had to go through the royal family. It was really hard to get, but it's supposed to help people with a weak constitution. Please, just try a little. I know. If I drink this and get even a little bit healthier, that would be great. Then I wouldn't have to rely on Akatsuki anymore." Werner watched her with a worried expression. Suddenly she asked, "Oh, by the way, are you going to the ball too?" "Yeah, father and mother will be there as well." "How did you know about the ball?" "Akatsuki asked me to be his partner. Is it okay if I go?" "Please. As long as you promise to stay by Akatsuki's or Alan's side." "Why is he looking at me like that?" "I'll allow it," he said. "Okay, you can go. Thanks, big bro. So, is your date your fiancé?" "I'm not so sure about that yet." Seeing him get flustered, she pressed him even more. "How could you not know? Are you ditching your fiancé to go with someone else? Are you cheating on her?" "About that, Rose seems to be angry with me." "What? What on earth did you do to make an angel like Rose so mad? It's not like I did it on purpose. It's because of the meeting a few days ago." A few days prior, Werner was trying to catch up to Rose. "Why are you acting so suddenly?" Rose turned and replied, "I wasn't aware the Daya family supported the crown prince." He tried to explain, "Jacques is a good person. He's helped the Daya family out a lot. And you think that's a good enough reason to make a political decision?" The question truly took him by surprise. "It's not about refusing to support the crown prince. No matter who it is, we must make the right choice," Rose stated bluntly. "As a veteran of the war, I refuse to attend a party while so many never made it home." Having said that, she turned and left. "Let's just take some time to think." "Wait, Rose!" Werner still didn't seem to grasp the gravity of the situation. He just thought, she probably wants some time alone. "How about we have our own private party?" "Are you an idiot?" Ravi said, angrily hitting her brother. "How could you make your fiancé cry over another man?" "What?" Rose didn't cry. She thought to herself, "This has nothing to do with Felix. Does this mean I can side with Jacques now? And Akatsuki too? This story is developing differently from what I know. I guess this had to happen for me to realize it. Principles don't mean a thing when the main character acts like such an idiot. So what should I do now?" Then, she offered her advice. "You have to grab her, real manly-like. You have to say sweet things to comfort her, and you should have sent her tons of gifts she likes. Is that right?" "I honestly had no idea. It's just a little something out of Akatsuki's playbook. I have to step up for this hopeless brother of mine." The next day, she sat down and wrote a letter to Rose. "To my dearest sister Rose, I heard you had returned to the Empire, and I apologize for my late greeting. Rose smiled as she read the letter. Are you doing well? I'm always worried that my awful brother might have hurt my dear sister's feelings. Seeing the roses blooming in the garden just now made me miss you even more. I will pick the most beautiful flowers to send to you, and I hope you will be as radiant as these roses. Rose thought to herself. It seems Ravi heard what happened with Werner. Those two siblings are so adorable, so she decided to write a reply to the young girl. In any case, I have no intention of dragging out this Cold War. We should reconcile sooner. In her letter, she replied, My dearest Ravi, thank you for your letter. The scent of the roses reminded me of the day we had tea together in the garden. I would love to spend time with you like that again. If you're free, could you come visit me? Just pick a day, and I'll send a carriage for you. After reading Rose's reply, Akatsuki angrily slammed the paper down on the table. It seems Miss Rose has too much free time. I want you to check these documents during that time. Then this is everything I have to handle. Is that right? Someone was obviously too busy scolding a priest for the work to pile up. Her words infuriated Akatsuki. What on earth did you do to Ravi? There are rumors about a conflict with Grand Duke Enoch, aren't there? It's none of your business. So is threatening me in other ways your new tactic? Well, I'm not that foolish. I'll have to take on the Enoch family's work sooner or later, won't I? When? In 3 days. Akatsuki stormed out in a rage. Is that so? I hope it ends well. Akatsuki slammed the door on his way out. Stepping outside, he replayed that moment in his mind. There was something in her smile, as if it was deliberately meant to provoke him. Meanwhile, Jacques was questioning Werner. How long are you going to keep doing that? Werner was fumbling with a pile of gifts. Sorry, just a little longer. I'm debating on which color to choose. Choosing a gift for your sister again? Just pick the lightest one. That's not it. This time it's for my fiancé. Hearing this, Jacques looked at Werner in surprise. It's not like it's a big deal for you to be choosing a gift for your fiancé, since you're a knight, so you probably have no taste for these things. Even so, you have to at least try. Then just take this one, huh? Werner immediately rejected it. That color wouldn't suit Josh at all. The crown prince held it up to himself. I don't know. I think it suits me perfectly. 3 days later, Ravi was in a bind. She was lost in the castle. Where should I go now? I'll just hide here for a bit and then leave. Huh, who's sleeping here? Please don't wake up. But the person suddenly woke up. Where are you going? Didn't you come here to see me? Wait a second. Then he pinned her hand against the wall. It's Crown Prince Jacques, huh? The two of them were in an incredibly awkward situation. What in the world is happening? To explain this, we have to go back in time. Earlier, she remembered her sister-in-law sending a carriage for her. She had assumed it was an invitation to the Salome estate, but she never expected to be brought to the Imperial Palace. Sister Rose came out to greet Ravi. Does everyone work in such an amazing place like this, Sister Rose? I'm not sure, but about my brother? By the way, what do you think of the young Marquis? You have no idea how much I was looking forward to this since you said you were coming, Ravi, but what can I do? Because I have a meeting, I have to be away for a while. It's all right, she can wait inside, Alan advised her. Then I will wait for you on the first floor. Have a servant inform me when you're finished. Okay, I understand. You are not to wander off just because you get bored, and do not do anything dangerous. I wouldn't do that, even in the royal palace. That threat angered Ravi as she walked away. That idiot Alan, what does he think of me? She sat down to drink her tea while she mulled it over. I don't cause trouble all the time. Suddenly she looked down out the window. What's that? What's all that noise outside the window? Are those the royal knights? Suddenly, she caught sight of a familiar figure. Oh my gosh! That person is Akatsuki. He was training incredibly hard, nimbly dodging the blades of his opponents. Sweat was pouring down his face. It took her a moment to fully register it was Akatsuki, and she was so surprised that she hid herself. He's much better than I thought, so I guess that's why he received a medal, huh? Everyone in the Knight Squadron seemed quite surprised by Akatsuki's actions today. Why is Sir Akatsuki participating in training? They felt both shocked and exhausted. The Duke was supposed to be here originally, which is why it seems like he's been training all night, and has been here since early this morning. The two knights who were chatting were immediately reprimanded by Akatsuki. Hey, knock off the idle chatter, our apologies. His stern reprimand startled her. When he's training, he's the cold and aloof type. That image is cool, but it makes him seem like a completely different person. Just as she was thinking about him, he suddenly spotted her and called out affectionately, Ravi, it really is you. When did you get here? His sweet voice made her blush furiously, and she quickly looked away. Oh my gosh, you've got the wrong person. Why am I suddenly feeling this way? It's not like I'm receiving treatment from Akatsuki, but my heart is pounding. Seeing her dismissive response confused him, so he decided he had to go up and talk to her. I can't meet him right now. Upstairs, Ravi was still too flustered to face him. Oh my face is so hot. How can I let him see this expression? Not knowing what to say, she chose to run away. Isn't there somewhere I can hide until my face cools down? She started running through the palace to find a hiding spot. Where should I go now? Suddenly she saw a room that seemed like a reasonable place to hide. In here? Inside the room, Crown Prince Jacques was resting. He suddenly heard footsteps. I hear familiar footsteps. He closed his eyes, sensing the footsteps approaching the room, flustered like prey being chased by a predator. There's that familiar scent of roses, too. At that moment, Ravi entered the room, unaware that he was there. Her footsteps were filled with fear. Huh, what's this? Did you come all this way just to run away? And with that, he grabbed her arm forcefully. Where are you going? Didn't you come here to see me? He then forcefully pushed her down onto the sofa. The atmosphere was truly awkward and indescribable. Only then did he get a clear look. It's Ravi? What on earth is this situation? Jacques' actions made Ravi furious. Hey, she pointed directly at him and said, sorry for walking in on you, but could you please get out of the way? That's when the crown prince realized he had the wrong person. I mistook you for someone else. I apologize for my rudeness. Oh, so that's it. Wait, if Akatsuki sees this scene, I can already picture the massacre. She immediately shoved the crown prince's hand away. Don't touch me. You don't know the danger you'll be in. He also seemed startled when she suddenly slapped his hand. It really hurt. Am I worried about him just for him to scoff at me like that? Jacques smirked and said, what a ridiculous woman. He then suddenly and seductively grabbed her hair. No more games. Will you answer my question? Who are you? Just then, Ravi had a chance to look directly into his eyes and noticed they were a cloudy gold. Could this man be Crown Prince Jacques? Even though I don't know the title of this novel, in a world where he is the protagonist, he's the one who appears as the villain. But since my brother is on Jacques' side now, shouldn't I feel more at ease with him? Why do I feel so uneasy? Jacques was still clutching her hair, and the fragrance she gave off was not one you could smell just anywhere. The Marquis d'Aya's rose in the garden, a flower that almost no one in the royal palace could ever find. Even Werner, who is so close to her. Ravi said, I'm his sister. What? I'm the sister of the young Marquis Werner, and that garden is mine as well. You're Ravi d'Aya? What's this? You can walk by yourself? And here Werner said a mere gust of wind would blow you away. You look so full of life. Hearing his comment made her angry. What in the world has my brother been saying about me? I am Jacques Barnes Pesco Apejo, and I'm also Werner's best friend. I've been quite rude. I thought you were Werner's secret lover. It's a pleasure to meet you, your royal highness. Oh, you know who I am? Impressive. I heard Werner keeps you so protected that you rarely attend any social gatherings. Now that I look closer, you two really do look alike, just like Werner back in his academy days. Jacques' behavior was really making Ravi uncomfortable. I've always wondered, why is physical contact such a hassle? The warmth of his body on my skin seems to cling there, giving me goosebumps all over. This feeling is completely different from when I touch Akatsuki. Trying to get out of this creepy place, she made an excuse to leave. I have to go now. Someone's waiting for me. Don't be like that. Can't you talk with me for a little while? Ravi struggled to get away from him. No, let go of me. If you keep this up, I'll tell my brother Werner. What kind of threat was that? Since the crown prince likes my brother. Ravi's words seemed to stun Jacques. I mean, you two are best friends and have a great relationship. Ravi pleaded with her eyes, begging him to just let it go. That clueless expression. So that's how it is. What else is there to say? Hee. What other meaning could there be besides that? I'm going to lose my mind. Why did I have to blurt that out without thinking it through? I just have to escape. And so, she gave Jacques a quick bow and left the room. Well, I'll be on my way. It was a pleasure talking with you. See you next time. That was way too close. What good could possibly come from provoking the villain? As she was running away, she suddenly crashed right into Akatsuki. What do you mean, villain? Are you talking about me? You said the same thing last time, and you're running away today too? It's hard for me when you do this every time. It's not like that. I was too shy and ran away back then, but now... Could he be the one who sent that pink letter? Akatsuki then reminded him, Levine, isn't it time to go? You still have that task I asked of you. Ah, yes. Akatsuki squeezed her hand, and my heart started pounding in surprise again. It must be because of the healing. Over here, Rose smiled and spoke up. Lord Akatsuki, don't you have to leave? Today is my time with Ravi, but thank you for your concern. But I've already completed my important work. I have chosen a trustworthy assistant. Besides, Ravi brought a peach that she loves. How about we enjoy it together? The two of them stared at each other as if shooting sparks. If we're talking about dessert, we already have plenty. I have lots of ice cream and candy here as well. Ravi can't have too many sweets. Didn't you know that? Then we can just drink this tea together. Ravi thought to herself. I have no idea why the three of us are hanging out together. At least Jacques didn't tag along. Rose said she'll soon be part of Ravi's family, but Akatsuki shot back. It's not like you're marrying Ravi. Ravi just sat there quietly thinking, is time passing really a good thing? In the Crown Prince's chambers, Jacques, this is so strange. Even Werner himself didn't know. So how in the world did she find out? After returning from the Imperial Palace, the busy days continued, and I didn't even realize how quickly time was passing. Baths, dress fittings, dance lessons. At night, Ravi was so exhausted she would pass out completely. Finally, the day of the banquet arrived, and her carriage stopped at the castle gate. We're here. Akatsuki offered his hand to her. Are you ready? Ravi, of course I am. I've been looking forward to today so much, but if I wear gloves, when it's time to heal, won't that be inconvenient? Yeah, it does seem a little inconvenient, so what's the problem? Then you'll just have to kiss it, so take them off and let's go. But then Akatsuki picked the gloves up off the ground for her. I was just kidding. She blushed, completely embarrassed. What is this? I said I wasn't going to wear the gloves. Why did you bring them? After coming back from the palace, I just don't know anymore. The two of them began to enter the banquet, where many aristocrats were gathered. Akatsuki received a Medal of Honor today. A lot of people would come to a magnificent place like this, huh? This is amazing. Suddenly, a group of people started whispering about her. That must be Lady Ravi. She's never made an appearance at an official gathering until now. Her face. I wonder if she's even learned basic etiquette. I heard she's so frail it's hard for her to even leave the temple. I wonder what she's even doing here. But as she glided past, her beauty left all the young men mesmerized. They continued to whisper. Maybe that's why she seems so pure and mysterious. So pitiful? Is she a fairy instead of a person? May I have this dance? Ravi shyly asked. Hey, it looks like everyone is whispering. It seems so. It looks like there are more places that need cleaning up besides the temple. What is it? Is there something strange about me? It's because you're so beautiful. You're the most beautiful person here, obviously. Oh my gosh, I prepared so much for today, she thought, recalling everything she went through, like soaking in the bath for ages. Ah, have you ever had a massage? It's more tiring than it looks. Oh, what am I saying? It's not the first or second time I've said Akatsuki is handsome, but I'm just so nervous. Suddenly, Rose called out to her, Ravi, have you been well? I'm so happy to see you here like this. Ravi thought, with people like that around, how could I possibly be the most beautiful? Seeing the most beautiful person in the Empire brought me back to my senses. Rose, how's the ball? Places like this are really something else, aren't they? I still can't really tell what's what. I'm just waiting for Akatsuki to receive his medal. Akatsuki is getting it today. Did you know it's not just a medal? Huh, there's something else too? Of course there is. The Enoch family made a huge contribution in this war, so it seems a medal alone isn't enough. Huh? Why is that? Sending him to war wasn't a gesture of goodwill. It's more than just tossing a bone to someone you can't stand. What kind of gift do you think he'll give? Usually it would be precious jewels or a nice piece of land. It could even be a royal treasure. I heard some of them can change their shape. Akatsuki walked over and cut in. Whatever I receive, it won't be a sincere gift, so don't get your hopes up. When the award ceremony begins, my bride and I will go alone. Ravi, you have to stay right beside Werner. Remember what I told you before? Akatsuki had said the current emperor despises the House of Enoch, and the emperor has been openly hostile only toward the Enoch family. They said that what was only circumstantial evidence in the past was confirmed through this war, like the royal family constantly issuing defensive tactical orders, and the letter placing the House of Enoch under surveillance. Those were moves designed to isolate the Enoch family, rather than win the war. But our family achieved a victory that cannot be ignored, ending the war much sooner than expected. This outcome is also incredibly beneficial for the Empire. He'll have to acknowledge our achievements, but the atmosphere won't be good. I'll tell you more when I'm certain of the rest. What's wrong? You were speaking so freely just a moment ago. The Emperor will soon find some excuse, so before that happens, stay by my side if you can. And when you can't, stay with Werner. At last, the victory celebration began. Thank you all for gracing us with your presence on this joyous day. A toast to our victory. Now, I shall bestow medals upon the knights who achieved great feats in battle. Ravi thought to herself, he's so shameless. Come to think of it, the reason I hadn't gotten any of his letters must be because the medal ceremony was starting. Akatsuki stepped forward, looking radiant. Ravi applauded for him from the crowd. The Emperor is despicable, but Akatsuki is truly amazing. The Emperor looked on pensively. On second thought, the House of Enoch has achieved a monumental victory. Therefore, I wish to bestow a special gift. What do you say to the Cater territory? Upon hearing this, the crowd began to murmur. Why did the mood suddenly change? Brother, where is this Cater territory that has everyone whispering? It's not that the place itself is strange, but if Akatsuki accepts that territory now, it will put him in an awkward position. Akatsuki's position would become awkward because the Keter territory was, at the time, famous for its perfume industry. Thousands of plant species grew there, in a land known for having no winter, and it was especially famous for the Separat Garden. It was one of Keter's most famous attractions, and also where the Emperor first met the Empress, a place known for their passionate love story. The story of the Emperor and Empress, it was once called the Garden of Blessings. The Emperor back then had burst onto the scene, but now, its meaning has changed, because after the Empress gave birth to twins, the Emperor changed completely. How could they be born as mere halves like this? The twins couldn't inherit the full power of the royal family. The royal concubine's eyes filled with tears at his words, as he declared they would become a threat to the empire, let alone the heir to the throne. Get those things out of my sight immediately. The emperor sent the royal concubine back to her enemies. It said that she lived out the rest of her days there, passing away after the empress did. One of the twin brothers eventually passed away, an assassin forgotten by all. Werner looked away with a pained expression. That's why Prince Felix constantly covets that territory. But if House Enoch were to receive the CA territory, the situation would be quite unusual. Ravi began to piece together the royal family's web of relationships. So the emperor wants to push Jacques out, eliminate Felix, and curb Akatsuki's power. She couldn't help but curse silently in anger, thinking about that old geezer, the most famous in Keter, the Saphira flower, which symbolizes eternity. Akatsuki adjusted his tie as he spoke. Even if eternity cannot be seen with the naked eye, it still holds immense value. That is the meaning of the relationship between the royal family and House Enoch. The oath of the royal family and the friendship of House Enoch are eternal. At these words, everyone broke into a round of applause. A voice continued. But if their side has no intention of keeping that oath, then the obligation of our friendship will not last either. Akatsuki looked up at him, thinking this would be the last time they would be on peaceful terms. His words made the emperor so furious he could only curse silently. You insolent brat. How ironic. Then, he turned around and announced, well then, enjoy the rest of the party. And with that, the music began to play. Ravi held Werner's arm, looking around for someone. Where could the crown prince be? I need to be careful not to run into him. Just then, Werner was captivated by the music. Ah, it looks like the first dance is about to begin. Suddenly, a voice called out to Ravi. It was none other than Akatsuki, who approached, took her hand, and gently kissed it. May I have the honor of this dance, my lady? What? Isn't the first dance of the ball supposed to be led by the royal family? The emperor has gone inside, and the crown prince says he doesn't have a partner, so we will be leading the first dance instead. What do you say? If you feel pressured, Ravi, I can let Werner take my place. Stunned by his offer, Ravi quickly agreed. No, it's okay. I want to dance. Hearing that, he was inwardly pleased. Then let's go. She followed Akatsuki with a bright smile, thinking this is the dazzling ball I've always dreamed of. Besides, the first dance with Akatsuki, there was no reason to refuse. His hands skillfully wrapped around her waist, and he asked in a soft voice, You danced so well for your first ball? Of course. Do you have any idea how hard I practiced? What a shame. I'll have to watch you closely then. No way. I'm just showing you how good I am. See? Pretty good, right? Akatsuki was at a loss for words. He just looked at her and smiled softly. Yeah, you're truly beautiful. I have stage presence, don't I? That's right. If my body were healthy, I'd be flying all over the place, so don't worry about a thing today. I'll help you recover, so just dance to your heart's content. What a relief. It looks like Akatsuki is in a better mood, huh? Do I look unhappy? The emperor gave you a reward while also tearing you down, and then he stormed off because you were being sarcastic. But that's okay, right? Oh, that? What's the big deal if you can't curse openly in high society? Really? Really? Akatsuki is truly shameless in so many ways. Her body slowly drew closer to his, and just think about it. Akatsuki's hand wrapped around her waist, and then he lifted Ravi up, much to her surprise. How do you think people who see my face right now will remember me? Being this beautiful is against the law. At that moment, all eyes were on them. Ravi felt a little awkward. My day is over. Later, the two of them were in a room. The party is far from over, you know. Here, have some champagne. I've done everything I wanted to do. We already danced twice, including the one together. Now all we have to do is see if my brother dances well with my sister-in-law. The rest of them will probably just watch for a little while and then head home. Ah, is this non-alcoholic? Of course it is. Were you planning on getting drunk here? When you get drunk, Ravi, it's a total disaster. Absolutely not. What do you mean a disaster? Don't you remember last time when we had wine? I was drunk, but holding your hand sobered me up. But what about before that? I don't really remember before I fell asleep. I just drank with you, got a fever, and that was it. Oh my gosh, an image of a red wine glass appeared. Ravi, you can't do that. Why not? Is it because it's a peck and not a real kiss? It's not like that. She leaned in close and whispered to Akatsuki, Can you do more? Right now, Ravi's face was burning. What on earth is this memory? Akatsuki, there are two ways to ward off bad luck. First is to decorate a sword I made with my own hands, and second is a sincere kiss. He immediately thought it was a kiss on the cheek or forehead. At that time, she made a request. Since you have to come back safely, you have to kiss me a lot. Asterisk, asterisk, returning to the present. Her face was beet red, and she looked down, unable to meet Akatsuki's eyes. I guess there's nothing you won't say when you're drunk, huh? You still don't remember? My lips were so soft, it put me in a great mood. She hurriedly covered his mouth with her hands. I remember now. Don't say another word now. Oh my gosh, my first kiss. My first kiss was basically an ambush, and I didn't even remember it. You're not going to say it was just a slip-up, are you? But wouldn't it be better if it was a mistake? Something that happened because I was drunk. So I can just kiss you and call it a slip-up too, right? Stop messing around, Akatsuki. Jacques had appeared at some point without them noticing. I was wondering where our famous guests had disappeared to, and here you are in this corner. The moment she saw him, Ravi was so shocked she slapped a hand over her mouth. Jacques responded nonchalantly, Your Imperial Highness. It is an honor to meet you, Your Highness. May blessings be upon you. I was unaware of your presence. My apologies for the late greeting. Ravi reluctantly greeted him as well. It is an honor to meet you, Your Highness. May blessings be upon you. I am Ravi of Disfer. I thought I wouldn't be seeing you. Everyone is watching, so I trust you won't say anything inappropriate? When did the crown prince return to the banquet? Asterisk, asterisk. In the scene with the three of them, Akatsuki asked, I thought your highness wasn't interested in the ball, but what brings you here? But her dance was quite amusing. Jacques slowly approached, extended his hand, and softly made an offer. If I may, could I ask Lady Ravi for a dance? Just one dance? Seriously? That was her first thought, but she politely and gently refused out loud. I'm not feeling well, so I'd like to rest a bit. You seemed quite energetic just a moment ago, and I believe everyone has already rested. My dancing is still quite clumsy. She just danced 2 songs without any problem and already gave the first dance to me. So you surely won't refuse, will you? His words made Ravi indignant, since she only danced because she didn't have a partner. With no more excuses, she was about to step forward when a hand stopped her. With all due respect, please accept my invitation, Akatsuki said in a low voice. If you leave the hall, there will be countless ladies waiting for the crown prince. Miss Ravi is my partner for today. Partner? Even if you are, it's not like you're dancing right now, is it? So you should let her dance. Besides, she's not your official fiancée anyway. Akatsuki, not to be outdone, glared at him with a murderous look in his eyes. Just then, a voice cut through the tense atmosphere. Wait a moment, I will accept the Crown Prince's invitation. If you don't mind, just one dance will be enough. Ravi, you don't have to push yourself. You're not obligated to accept every dance request. It's all right. The guests of honor at this ball are the knights who saved the nation and the Crown Prince. It's good for building a better reputation anyway. And I hate listening to Akatsuki's pointless nagging, which is when I realized a certain truth. Images of the Emperor and Jacques were crossed out one by one. It seems both the Emperor and the Crown Prince are mistaken. In this world, I'm the only one who gets to annoy Akatsuki. It's been decided since we were kids. Hey Ravi. She reached out and touched Akatsuki. Don't worry so much. I have my reasons for accepting. Just trust me and wait. Over here, people continued to dance together as Jacques and Ravi also stepped onto the floor. It seems you didn't want to see me, but I have been eagerly awaiting the day we could speak privately. Oh my, what's wrong? That's right, that's the expression. I've known Werner for a long time. That kid makes the same face when he's hiding something. What exactly are you hiding? Even if I were, I couldn't tell you. It seems you are very close with my brother, the closest of friends since your academy days. Of course, you were always by his side, watching over him, in joy and in sorrow. So grief-stricken you were on the verge of tears, unable to speak a word. Faced with these tears, he paused for a moment. Theirs was a uniquely close relationship. But returning to the present, you've guessed wrong this time. I've spent nearly my entire life inside the Daya estate. I don't know anything, and I'm not hiding anything. Is that really so? Even if that's not the case, I think it's worth finding out more about you, the frail younger sister. So frail you couldn't enter high society, whose single cough could shake a temple's pillars, the treasure of the Daya family. Every time I hear about you from Werner, I think about that. If you have to hide it so carefully, is it really a treasure and not a weakness? A glint appeared in her eyes, and just as he stepped forward, she stepped back and a scream rang out. It caused everyone to turn their heads and look. Ravi was now sitting on the floor, much to his confusion. Jacques still couldn't believe her deliberate action. Miss Ravi, why all of a sudden? Before he could finish his sentence, she cut him off. I apologize, Your Highness the Crown Prince. Am I your weakness? Your Highness has asked me several times, and I truly wanted to fulfill your request, but with my physical condition, it was honestly too much. She thought to herself, are you trying to confront your weakness? Jacques was completely bewildered. What are you talking about? Didn't you suddenly kick me hard in the leg? It was true, she had kicked his leg first. Get up and speak clearly, Your Highness the Crown Prince. Right now my legs just can't. Everyone felt sorry for her, and whispers started to spread. Oh my god, that's such a bad bruise. Is that a bruise from being stepped on? Could it be? Either way, it needs to be treated quickly. Jacques wondered to himself, how did she get a bruise like that? The butler approached and whispered in his ear, Your Highness, it would be unwise to let this conversation drag on. Right then, Werner rushed over frantically. Ravi, Jacques, ah no, Your Highness, the Crown Prince. What is this situation? She spoke up to her brother. This wasn't anyone's fault. It was just an accident, right? Jacques thought. You already set the stage for this mistake. The only way to resolve this now is to say it was unintentional. Jacques said, regardless of the circumstances, I apologize for hurting you. It would be best to stop for today and get some rest. Hearing that, she thought, it's not actually as serious an injury as it looks. On certain days, my body bruises easily and can end up like this. Ravi leaned against Werner. Thank you for your concern, Your Highness. Afterwards, with Akatsuki's help, she was able to escape the ball. The Crown Prince got an earful from Werner, and the matter only ended after he was ordered to stay away from Ravi. Meanwhile, Akatsuki asked Ravi, why did you do that? When dealing with someone you can't refuse, I've learned that using your physical condition as an excuse is the best way. Akatsuki endured it well too. You were so anxious and worried because of me. Even if you wanted to do something, you could only endure it. You said you had a way. You listened so well, such a good boy. But where is this? Aren't we going home? I rented a VIP room. Let's rest before the carriage arrives. Huh? Why do you have to treat the injury? Let me see it now. I don't want to. Holding hands is enough. That's too slow. It'll throb every time the carriage shakes. Just let me take a quick look. Her face turned bright red. Even so, showing the top of her foot was a bit embarrassing. Akatsuki sat down and reassured Ravi. Stay still. I know what to do. He gently kissed the top of her foot. She panicked and called out loudly. Akatsuki, he asked. Are you being this stubborn because you got hurt in front of me? I was so worried. I'm sorry. When I was making the plan, I didn't consider your feelings. I got angry because others were looking down on you. I hated hearing them whisper about you, so I just thought about getting out of there as fast as possible. But why are you smiling like that? Oh, it's just that sometimes, even when you don't say you like me, you still make my heart flutter instantly. She was so surprised her entire face turned red. How long are you going to talk from down on the floor? Come sit next to me, okay? Then Akatsuki sat down beside her, and Ravi was so shy her whole body flushed red. She stared, thinking to herself, what does it even mean to like someone? If I were healthy and normal, would I have figured it out sooner? Holding hands and hugging, relying on each other for so long that it started to feel natural. And with all the hugs we've shared, Did I just naturally come to like Akatsuki? The healing power has always been a part of our relationship. Akatsuki asked softly, Ravi, what are you thinking? What if, let's say there was no healing ability? With that thought, she said to Akatsuki, can you close your eyes for a second? What's wrong? You're scaring me, saying that all of a sudden. What's there to be scared of? Just close them for a little bit. Don't do anything. Just close your eyes. All right, I get it. Like this? Ravi placed her hand on the bed. Then she leaned in and gave him a kiss, after which they both pulled away. This is a big deal. Up until now, whenever Akatsuki used his power to get close to me, I would always feel breathless and get butterflies in my stomach. I thought it was just because of the healing ability, but even now, when Akatsuki isn't doing anything, I still feel that same way. Her sudden action left him stunned. Ravi, what does this mean? Honestly, up until now, I didn't know why my heart would race. I thought it was just because of the healing ability, but I guess that wasn't it. My heart is pounding because of you. Akatsuki looked completely stunned, a bashful expression on his face. Then he pulled her into his arms and softly called, Ravi, Akatsuki, I can hardly believe what just happened. This isn't a dream, is it? Or that this is some kind of joke. Hearing that, she snapped, what do you take me for? I'm sorry, I'm just so happy I can't believe it, that's all. She thought to herself, it's not like I said anything that amazing. Is he really that happy? She unconsciously raised her hand, thinking, he's actually pretty cute. Suddenly, a voice announced, the carriage you ordered is ready, sir. Ravi jumped and froze. I almost started petting his head without thinking. Akatsuki then called out, we'll be right out. Ravi, shall we get in the carriage and go? That way, no one will know where you are. She replied, thinking that if the carriage hadn't arrived, who knows? What other impulsive thing I might have done? Akatsuki said, Ravi, you seem relieved that our conversation was cut short. Am I the only one who's disappointed? She quickly replied, no, that's not it. I wasn't planning on just dropping it like this. We'll talk more about this later.